It'll be Cassidy Harris, the 5'8 sophomore, averaging 4 points, 4 rebounds a game. Haley Unruh, 5'10 senior, 9 points, 5 rebounds a game. Number 14, Taylor Bain, the 5'8 sophomore, averaging 10 points, 4 rebounds a game. Riley Alexander, 5'10 sophomore, so a fairly young team here for South Central. Alexander, the sophomore, averaging at 10 points, 5 rebounds a game. Leads the team in three-pointers made so far this year with 17. And Reagan Bain, their leading scorer, averaging 13 points a game, 4 rebounds, and 4 steals a contest. Let's look at the starting lineup. South Central taking on Central Plains here this evening. One final break in our pregame show. Back with tip-off in St. John for the Substate Championship game. Back in 2 minutes on B104.3 The Point.
Agriculture today is such a dynamic market. Prices are moving, the input costs are fluctuating, equipment costs, all of these things add up. We're here to help those farmers for their success. That's really what an ag dealership today needs to do, is be on their best game all the time so that we can help our farmers achieve what they need. And if they want to pass that down to their children and their children's children, they've got to have a good partner behind them. That's BTI.
The weather just seemed a little bit unusual.
The sound was just
You
deafening.
can hear and feel things just breaking up.
School was
above
gone,
you.
my church was gone, my town was gone. What are we gonna do?
We could rebuild, and we could start over and rebuild a whole community. Let's rebuild the town. Let's work together. Let's try to do it right.
The spirit of the community, we will rebuild.
Maybe we do have to do it different.
To be able to make a difference that can be felt for generations, it's very exciting.
Come and experience the story in Greensburg.
Just about set for tip-off here in St. John at the high school for the Substate Championship game. 2 games coming your way on B104.3 The Points and GreatBendPost.com, as we'll also have the broadcast of Central Plains boys taking on St. John. A lot of people from throughout the area excited about that boys championship game. I have a feeling it's going to live up to the night here tonight as Gary Wagner joins us here on the broadcast.
Well, the fact that we had people in here over an hour before the tip-off of this game who weren't wearing the green of South Central should tell you that this is going to be a packed house tonight. It already is. Very few seats left. If you're on your way here, you better get here because it's going to be SRO here before too long.
Yeah, I agree. There's a few seats over across the way from us here at St. John High School, and it's starting to pack up behind us as well. And you were kind of talking to me before the broadcast. They put in these new bleachers that might have cut down a little bit on seating.
Yeah, they added. Got new bleachers. I think three years ago now. Unfortunately, a little bit better seating resulted in a few less seats in the place. So seating at even a better premium, but it's lots more comfortable.
I agree. I'm appreciating it right now as we're just about set for tip-off. South Central 19-3 on the season. Last time they've been to the state championships came back in 2011. They ended up finishing in 3rd place that year in Class 1A Division I. Central Plains, they have won the last 2 state championships, and they're back in the Substate Championship game here tonight in St. John. And we are underway at St. John High School. Glad to have you aboard on B104.3 The Points, GreatBendPost.com, and also the Kiowa County Media Center. Central Plains wins the opening tip. They go right to left from our perspective. 3 seats behind the Central Plains bench. 3-pointer left short by Janae Ryan, and the rebound is there for South Central. And the Lady Timberwolves looking to run, 19-3 on the season, averaging 56 points per game so far this year. Cassidy Harris goes to the free throw line. Haley Unruh goes to the corner. 3-point shot on the way by Bain. This one wide left, no good. Offensive rebound there for Alexander. Can't stick the putback. Rebound tipped out to Kreitz. She's running the other way. Gets caught from behind. Shot blocked and out of bounds. It'll stay with Central Plains as they'll have it underneath. 7:19 to go first quarter. Just getting started here in St. John. Central Plains against South Central. The right to move on to the Class 2A state tournament next week in Manhattan at Bramlage Coliseum. Rawls has a quick touch at the free throw line. Back out to Ryan. Missed her first one. Same result on the second one in the same spot. Rebound is there for South Central as Reagan Bain brings it up to the three-point line. Sends it left side. Here's Harris. One dribble towards her right. Swings it around right wing. Alexander, three-pointer off the heel, no good. And then over the back, call will be whistled against South Central as they go over one of the Lady Oilers. And it'll go against Haley Unruh. That'll be her first and team's first as well.
Both teams just kind of feeling each other out here so far, and I think these a little bit jittery for both teams shooting-wise, but as the game goes on, they realize it's another game. They'll settle down.
Yeah, something that Central Plains has done really well this year is just kind of take everything in stride. Baseline jumper by Rolfs goes strong. Rebound tipped around. Harris has it for South Central. 6:41 to go in our first quarter, still scoreless in our Substate Championship game. The drive with the left hand brings it up to the top of the arc now for Alexander. Dumps it down the corner for Harris. Touch pass down low. Low block maneuver by Taylor Bain. Has her pass deflected and stolen away by Kreitz. Here come the Lady Oilers. Rolfs has it left threshold. Rotates around. Phelan had an open look momentarily, but she looks to pass first. Near corner, Rolfs on the move. Two right-handed dribbles, goes back out to Phelan. The Washburn University signee. She'll be playing with the Lady Ichabods next year. And she'll glide things over here to the left side. Passes out to the junior. Gets it back from Ryan. Three-pointer right down the middle for Reagan Phelan. Shooting 33% from outside. Our first bucket of the game goes in favor of Central Plains.
You talked about this senior-laden team. They should take things in stride. They played together so long. 3 seniors, 2 juniors on the start.
Nice move by Haley Unruh, and she has a low shot in the middle of the lane go down. So the senior, averaging 9 points per game so far this year, has South Central within 1 at 3-2. We played about 2.5 minutes here in the first quarter. Central Plains, the top seed, number 1 team in the Class 2A. They're in their home white jerseys. Phelan looking for back-to-back, wide right. Rebound tipped around. Ryan has it, throws it back out. Now releases a three-pointer and hits it. Janae Ryan, the deadly outside shooter, drills her first 3 after missing her first 2. Central Plains on top, 6-2. 5:12 remaining. Harris trying to answer. Near corner, no good. Long rebound trickles out to the corner, and Rolfs tracks it down for Central Plains. 5:03 remaining first quarter. Rolfs brings up the offense for Central Plains, averaging 60 points per game. Ryan can't find the range on this one. Now 1 of 4 from outside. Rebound is snagged by South Central, a team that averages about 27 rebounds per game so far on the year. Only 3 losses at 19-3. Those 3 losses coming against Spearville, Burlington, and Ingalls as they throw it out of bounds. Too hot on the pass from Reagan Bain. Second turnover on South Central.
Just a little too high on the entry pass off her fingertips, and a turnover. Oilers have it.
First 90 seconds went without points here tonight between Central Plains and South Central, but a 6-2 advantage now for the Lady Oilers. Throwing it around, right side, a lot of Hunter Green in the gymnasium here in St. John. Both teams rocking those colors. Rolfs misfires on a 3. Rebound back out to Phelan. Makes her way through the lane. Runner won't go. Rebound is snagged by Reagan Bain. She'll circle things back out in the backcourt, and a timeout taken by Tim Ritzke of South Central, the head coach. 4:14 to go in our first quarter. Central Plains is on top by a score of 6-2. I guess your early take here in the almost 4 minutes of action, Gary.
Well, you can see that the Oilers really know how to attack that zone defense. They see it all the time. Teams have to zone them because of the way they can shoot, and you just can't let a good shooter stand there and stare at the basket. You've got to get a hand up somehow, some way, and so far, not too bad, I guess you'd say, defensively for South Central, but you can't let Reagan Phelan stand there and shoot an open 3.
Yeah, Reagan Phelan shooting about 33% from outside. As a team for Central Plains, they shoot 37%, so good outside shooting team here for the Lady Oilers. Out of the timeout, South Central with the ball down by 4. Near corner for Harris. Skip pass, a lazy one, deflected, stolen away by Reagan Phelan. Quickly up ahead with that patent long pass, and Kreitz puts it in off the glass on the left side. Central Plains on a 5-0 run as they are on top 8-2 as we duck under the halfway mark of the first quarter. The drive taken by Alexander, and now a late whistle will be fouled against the Central Plains as they will call this against the Lady Oilers, as we'll see which Oiler, and it'll be going against Cassie Kreitz. That'll be her first, team's first as well.
A couple of scores, games of interest maybe. Kinsley and Lacrosse girls tied at 2-2 early in that one, and out in Lakin, Sterling leads Lakin 10-2 with about 4 minutes to go in the first quarter of that one.
Taylor Bain goes to the free throw line and missed the first one, second one on its way. Same result off the mark. Offensive rebound is there for Unruh. One power dribble over the top of Castleman. Can't get the shot to fall. The lead remains at 6 for Central Plains. Phelan in a hurry down the right side. Chest pass goes out to Ryan. Swings it around left wing now for Rolfs. Top of the arc, back over to Kreitz. One dribble in on the three-point line. Two-handed pass goes to the near corner for Rolfs. Here's Ryan, open for three, and it's strong. It was on target. Rebound is there for Harris. Quickly up ahead, Reagan Bain takes it to the three-point line. Bounce pass, gets it back. Now swing it around. Left corner, bounce pass again, goes over to Bain. Right side it goes to Alexander. They feed the post. Unruh puts it in off the glass. That'll stop a 5-0 run by Central Plains. Haley Unruh with all 4 points here tonight for South Central as they cut the lead in half at 8-4. 2:58 to go here in the opening quarter. Down low to Castleman. Quick touch. Now back out to Rawls. 2 dribbles into the lane. Runner will not fall. Castleman is hacked across the arms on her putback, and she'll go to the foul line for Central Plains.
Nice offensive rebound there for Castleman. And the foul called on Alexander, and that'll send Castleman to the free throw line for 2 on the putback.
First personal foul on Riley Alexander, the sophomore, averaging 10 points per game, as Castleman can't find the range on the free throw. She'll get one more. Kylie Castleman, the junior, averaging 9 points, 4 rebounds a contest. Had a great first-round game, went for 12 points, 6 of 8 at the free throw line in that contest. She played well on Thursday night as well. Trying to hit the second one, unable to do so as that one spins out. Bain has the rebound for South Central. Still an 8-4 advantage for Central Plains here in the Substate Championship game in St. John. 2:39 to go in our first quarter. Bain works the offense right side. Harris, the sophomore, gives it back out to Bain, attacking the zone of defense right now by the Lady Oilers. The drive along the baseline, missing on the shot is Alexander. Weak side rebound there for Phelan. Had it taken away. Layup good by Taylor Bain. You don't see that often, Reagan Phelan getting the ball stripped away, but it results in 2 points for South Central. Ryan tosses it right side. First sub of the game for Central Plains. Casey Steiner into the game, the 5'5 senior. Down low they go. Castleman in position, puts it in off the glass, and answers quickly on the other end. Castleman shooting 52% from the field this season. Main reason why, she gets a lot of close looks like that one.
It was a great inside feed, and then she made a nice move, spun around the defender, got a good look at it.
Harris doesn't want to take the three. She's only hit 4 on the season. She was open, pass deflected, stolen away by Ryan. Here come the Lady Oilers. Nice pass up ahead. Kreitz lays it in high off the glass. Reagan Phelan with a 3/4 of the court pass. Finds Kreitz right underneath the basket, and she has another bucket. She's up to 4.
That's the second time she's made that long pass for a bucket.
Yeah, she is very, very talented on the passing skills. Washburn is very lucky. Finds a nice pass to Kreitz again. Touches it over to Ryan and banks it in off the glass. Central Plains rolling right now on top by 8. As they lead at 14-6, closing in on 1 minute to go here in our first quarter. The drive by Bain, had it knocked away, 2-on-1. Here's Steiner, leaves it off to Phelan, puts it off the glass and good. 5 turnovers now going against South Central, and Phelan makes them pay. She has 5 points. 16-6. This was an 8-6 contest at one time, but the huge run by Central Plains as the ball's knocked out of bounds on the baseline, and it'll send Taylor Rolfs back into the game. Castleman gets a rest.
Well, this is just a pure Oiler basketball. You know, they take advantage of turnovers, missed shots, and every time they're looking to push the ball down the floor.
10-point advantage as Central Plains on an 8-0 run. Final 45 seconds here in the first quarter. Cassidy Harris dribbles it off her knee, saves it on the near sideline though. Pass, a lazy one again, stolen away by Ryan. Central Plains attacking the other way in their home white jerseys. Ryan stops on the elbow, throws it back up top to Phelan. Good pass down low. Kreitz hook shot. It rolls off, no good. Under snags the rebound. Passes it out to Bain. A 3-on-3 now for South Central. Here's Alexander. Doesn't make a move. Into the corner. Bain's three-pointer. Left short. Rebound tipped by Kreitz, and Central Plains has it. Final 15 seconds here of the opening period. Rolfs navigating her way down the lane. Has it blocked, but a blocking foul will be whistled against South Central with 12.7 to go. Rolfs goes to the charity stripe with a 16-6 lead against the Timberwolves.
Some of the Timberwolves seemed a little hesitant to put up the shots in the offense, and you mentioned that sometimes they may not be the shooters of with the greatest reputation for shooting the basketball, but when that's open, you got to take that shot.
Yeah, they look very confident against Kiowa County on Thursday nights, but granted, the competition level stepped up quite a bit here against the #1 team in the state in Central Plains as Rolfs makes good on the first free throw. Second one in the air, swishes through. That's her first 2 points of the ball game. Rolfs missed 7 games with a stress fracture in her foot as she is back. And talking to Pat Stiles, even talking to her dad, Trevor Rolfs, mentioned the fact that health-wise she's pretty much 100% or at least close to it, but fatigue-wise not quite there on the conditioning as a late layup goes in right before the buzzer by Reagan Bain to pull South Central within 10. Our score at the end of the first quarter is Central Plains 8, Central Plains 18, South Central 8. We'll be back in 1 minute on B104.3 The Point.
Coverage of the 2A Substate Championships is brought to you by the Bank of Coldwater, the Bank of Protection, People's Bank Coldwater.
Only 0.5% of all high school student athletes play basketball in college, but all 100% of them become adults. That's why playing basketball in their high school team is so important. High school athletes learn life lessons that help them grow up, lessons that can't be taught in the classroom and often aren't taught at home. This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Starting the second quarter in St. John for the Substate Championship game, and it's Reagan Bain ringing the bell once again as she drills the three-pointer. She had a late layup at the end of the first quarter, and she gets the scoring started on a trifecta here for South Central. 18-11 lead for Central Plains. 7:32 to go here in our second quarter. Oilers now settling in on the offensive end. One dribble by Kreitz, throws it out to Ryan. Wide open look and drills the three-pointer. Janae Ryan, her second three here tonight after she missed her first two. She has connected on 2 of her last 3.
Got a nice open look there. Broke a 5-0 scoring run by South Central.
Alexander with a long 2-pointer misfires. Castleman had the rebound, nearly had it taken away, but it'll be a reaching foul. Whistled against Haley Unruh, I believe. And for Unruh, that'll be her second personal foul.
Second offensive rebound for Castleman.
Yeah, Castleman's done an excellent job on the glass all season long, averaging well over 4 rebounds a game. 21-11, Central Plains on top by 10 as we have played 1 minute here in the second quarter. Reagan Phelan had the scoring started with a three-pointer. She has 5 so far. The senior point guard has a bad pass inside, stolen away. 4-on-1, Phelan darts in there and knocks it off the defender, and it'll go back over to Central Plains. The 4-on-1 usually doesn't work out that way, Gary.
Not usually, but when you've got a player with the savvy of Reagan Phelan, that's a play of a gym rat right there.
Yeah, she has been in the gym a long time, and she has been one of the main reasons why Central Plains has won back-to-back state championships. Rolfs, long 2 on the baseline, misfires, and a whistle after the shot. I think they're going to call on the shot, so another late whistle here tonight. Second one we've seen here, and it'll be whistled against Ashton Schneider. She just checked into the game.
You see that a lot, and I'm not saying it's not a foul. I'm not sure it's got to be called a shooting foul, though.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that, but well after the fall through for Rawls as she knocks down the first free throw. She remains perfect at the free throw line tonight here as she has gone 3 for 3. Excuse me, as Rawls cans the next one. A good free throw shooter at 73% on the season. 23-11. Lead grows to 12 now for Central Plains. We played 90 seconds. Pass up top. Stolen away by Kreitz and a quick reach-in foul to prevent the easy two. Whistled against Tyra Schneider. The freshman also getting in the game, so Tim Ritzke subbing in a few players as it was Haley Unruh picking up her second personal foul early on. She checks out, and a couple subs coming in for the Timberwolves.
When you look at the starting lineups, you've got 3 juniors, 2 seniors for Central Plains. South Central has to start 3 sophomores, 2 seniors. That's a big difference when you're talking about your starting 5 in a game of this magnitude.
Yeah, Rawls misfires on a long jumper on the near sideline. A rebound is snagged by South Central. 19-3 on the season for head coach Tim Ritzke, coming off a 26 win Thursday night in the Substate semifinals. They looked really efficient in that ball game as a bank shot misfires by Taylor Bain. Offensive putback also off the mark for Ashton Schneider. Rebound finally picked up by Central Plains. Castleman half position down low, has to save it. Out to Ryan, a three-pointer halfway down and pops out. A rebound corralled by Reagan Bain. 5:35 to go second quarter. Bounce pass right side. Alexander doesn't use the dribble. Gets it back now. She takes a quick glance down low. Goes to the outside shooter. Three-pointer off the mark by Schneider. And now we're going to get a traveling violation on the offensive rebound for South Central as we go back over to Central Plains. Already 9 turnovers against South Central.
Yeah, Bain got the rebound, but as she came down to the floor, she was looking for somebody to deliver it to and ended up rolling over on her hip. The official called her for traveling.
Well, Central Plains, they've only had 1 game so far this year that's been decided by less than 10 points. That 1 9-point victory came against Kinsley back on February 19th. Other than that, it's been blowout city for Central Plains. Tough pull-up jumper drains in for Reagan Phelan from 15 feet. The senior going to Washburn makes a difficult shot.
Speaking of Kinsley, they lead lacrosse 10-5 into the first quarter out in Kinsley.
All right, so everyone trying to figure out who's going to the state tournaments here after Substate Championship Saturday. Pass deflected here, now goes back out to the sideline. Three-pointer by Bain, contested, nearly banked it in on the corner shot, but misses badly. Rebound is there. Here's Phelan, skip pass, left side. Kenny Maxwell into the game for the first time. Ryan, touchdown low, good. Passes by Central Plains. Phelan open, and she drills it. Reagan Phelan racks up her second 3 here of the night. She has 10 points. 28-11, Lady Oilers rolling right now as Phelan knocks over a South Central player, as it was Riley Alexander collecting the pass. And for Phelan, that'll be her first personal foul and the team's second.
Just a real aggressive play there by Reagan. Ended up knocking down Riley Alexander as a sub comes in for the Timberwolves.
Yeah, Cassie Harris will check back in the ball game as it was a quick stint on the floor for Ashton Schneider as she goes back to the bench. 4:23 to go second quarter. Central Plains on top 28-11. This is an 8-6 contest in the first 3 minutes here this evening as Bain collects it near corner. She had a 3 from there earlier. Alexander tries her hand at one, but misses it long. A rebound there for Rolfs. Up ahead, Maxwell stops on the left flank, brings it back up top between the circles. Pass deflected from Phelan, stolen away by Schneider. Third turnover going against Central Plains. Schneider banks one in from 6 feet, and Schneider has her first bucket here tonight coming off the bench. And that ends a long run, but a quick answer by Taylor Rolfs on the other end, her first field goal.
Boy, and how quickly the Oilers are able to get back down the floor. They give up a shot in the paint, and before you can write it on your sheet, Cole, they're shooting a layup on the other end. And I'm really surprised at how well the Oilers run what I would call the middle break, where you push the ball right down the middle of the floor. Those passes are so difficult to not only to throw, but to catch in transition when you're going down the middle of the floor. And they've done it 3 or 4 times here, gotten 3 buckets out of it. And, you know, that has to be something that Coach Stiles practices, because normally you're going to take your break and you're going to take it to one side or the other. They're going right down the middle of the floor and being very successful with it.
Yeah, the White Wizard, as I like to refer to him as here in St. John. He knows what he's doing. Of course, the father of also Jackie Stiles as well. So he's seen a lot of high-caliber basketball in his days, and he is looking for a three-peat here in 2016. Central Plains, the top team in Class 2A at 22-0 for head coach Pat Stiles, and they lead this one 30-13. And kind of my opinion, Gary, South Central I don't know if shell-shocked is the right word, but after they got kind of punched in the mouth about midway through the first quarter, really haven't had much of a response.
And the Oilers going for a kill shot here as they will set up a half-court trap.
And Kreitz with those long arms on the top of that zone press, and it gets a deflection and a steal.
Yep,
so it works out well.
Just exactly what they were looking for. Get the turnover, and right down the paint they go again.
How Phelan found Kreitz on the baseline, I have no idea. She touches it back out to Rolfs and drains a 16-footer. And a nice sequence once again for Central Plains. Taylor Rolfs is up to 8 points here in the first half, 32-13. Central Plains on top by 19 with almost 3 minutes to go, and going to get a pushing foul whistled against Castleman as she was kind of jockeying for position a little bit with Taylor Bain. Castleman, that'll be her first.
Well, it was almost like somebody sort of fell down, so we better call a foul on them.
Yeah, a little touch there, so it'll be South Central ball underneath their own basket as Harris throws in up top. Pass goes out to Bain. South Central only 3 losses on the year. Shot misses by Bain. Phelan wants to run. 3-on-2. Phelan takes it herself at a long stride on the pro hop, and it'll be a blocking foul whistled against South Central. 2 free throws coming up for the senior Phelan, as it will be a blocking foul going against, looks like Tyra Schneider. That'll be her second.
What a great move by Phelan to get by Schneider. She brought it down the lane and then picked up her dribble, and as you said, just a little hop there with both feet, able to get by the defender, nearly got a 3-point play opportunity out of it.
Misfiring on the first one, second one on its way, and it spits out of there for Reagan Phelan. So rare misses for Phelan, the senior. That's 70% on the season. Pass near sideline goes out of bounds as it goes behind Alexander. And it'll be another turnover on South Central, number 11 on the Timberwolves. 2:56 to go second quarter. All Central Plains so far here in the first half as they're on top 32-13, trying to get to the state tournament in Class 2A once again this year. Rolfs far corner, throws it back out to Ryan. Ryan has a couple of three-pointers. Good look down low. Castleman loses it on her move to the rim, and it'll go over to South Central.
Just went with that strong power dribble and just couldn't corral it off the dribble and turn it over.
Yeah, I was going to say South Central, they have not allowed opponents in the last 3 games to score more than 30 points. Central Plains has 32, and we still have 2.5 minutes to go. They've had some really good defense on their way to the Substate as a shot goes in for Cassie Harris from 10 feet away. Her first field goal for the sophomore, 32-15. Central Plains on top as we close in on 2 minutes to go here in our second frame. Rolfs gathers it in, right side, skip pass goes out to Phelan. Ball overhead, takes a quick glance at the defense. Back out to Rolfs, touch goes down low. Castleman, one dribble lane, back out to Phelan, lets it fly. This one rims up and goes over the backboard, over to South Central. Tonight's game brought to you by Lorraine State Bank, H&B Video and Communication, and B&D Hereford's.
For those of you interested, Sterling Lady Black Bears leading Lakin now 26-8. I think Sterling's going to be able to punch their ticket to the state tournament, Class 3A.
You saw Sterling a couple times. How good are they?
Oh, they're fantastic.
Shot on the way, missed by Harris after she made the last one. Now ball knocked out of there. Phelan has it for Central Plains. A little bit out of control, and a reaching foul not called, but an official timeout will be whistled as Riley Alexander went to the deck, and she was still reaching up trying to knock it away from Reagan Phelan, as Phelan's just kind of smiling right now. A little bit of contact there, and I think Pat Stiles was upset that there's no reach in as Alexander was reaching in from the floor, and she got a knee to the head from Phelan, and she is still shooken up.
Yeah, that's kind of one of those things, I think Coach Tim Ritzky wants to leave her in there if he can, but he's going to have to pull her out of there. He'll send Ashton Snyder in to replace her. But, just not a very smart play there for his sophomore, Riley Alexander. She's on the floor. Phelan's coming by, who's a terrific ball handler, just tries to reach up. You know, you can't fault her for trying to make a play, but it would not have been a very good one, and it resulted in a foul.
And the result goes over to Central Plains. With 1:32 to go in our second quarter, Lady Oilers on top 32-15. Rolfs working on the low block, goes up strong, but misses it. Harris collects the rebound for South Central.
Well, she got hammered down there in the post, and there was no whistle.
Yeah, they swallowed it on that end. We'll see what happens here this end for South Central. Harris goes to the elbow. Schneider into the game like Gary mentioned, goes out to Bain. Three-pointer, skims off the rim, and the rebound corralled by Taylor Rolfs. Final minutes here in the first half. Central Plains on top by 17. Maxwell coming in off the bench once again. Another good senior that kind of knows her role for Central Plains. Maxwell averaging 3 points and 2 rebounds a contest so far in the year. Phelan works her way through the lane and spins it around the cylinder and drops in for Reagan Phelan. She has a dozen.
Wow, that thing was a little scoop shot. Maybe even had somebody hanging on her arm. Somehow got it up above the rim, and it went around a couple of times and fell through.
She keeps that ball so close to the vest when she drives through the lane, making sure no one can take it away from her. And now a foul on the shot by Reagan Bain will send Bain into the free throw line. Maxwell will pick up her first personal foul. Talk about these seniors and the success that they have had at Central Plains. As the free throw drops in for Bain. Back-to-back state championships, but you talk about the wins for these seniors. 92-4.
Wow.
In their 4 years with Central Plains.
And
they lost.
Said a lot of them not close either.
Yeah, a lot of them not even close at all. As Bain misfires on the second one, Castleman has the rebound as Bain goes 1 of 2. 34-16. And they've been 73-1 over the last 3 years. They lost 3 games as freshmen, and they lost 1 game last year to Ellenwood at the end of the regular season on their way to another state championship. But yeah, 92-4 for the seniors here for Central Plains, and Phelan, one of the key members, will dribble out the final 10 seconds here in the first half. Ryan lofts it over left side. Rawls pulls up, three-pointer won't fall. 3 seconds. Rebound by Bain, racing up at half court. The heave is up. It would have counted, but it misfires. Halftime is here in St. John for the Substate Championship game, and it was all Central Plains as they rocked South Central in the second quarter. They're on top 34-16. We will take a 2-minute break, be back with the halftime show after this on B104.3 The Point.
Coverage of the 2A Substate Championships is brought to you by the Bank of Coldwater, the Bank of Protection, People's Bank Coldwater, and Bar 6 Manufacturing.
Welcome back into St. John High School this Saturday evening. Cole Ripe with you, Gary Wagner as well. Central Lady Oilers from Central Plains leading this one 34-16. Reagan Phelan got the scoring started here tonight with a three-pointer after Janae Ryan missed a couple early ones. She eventually would start connecting on the three-pointers in that first quarter. It was an 8-6 contest halfway through the first quarter. Then Central Plains went on a 10-0 run. South Central will get a late bucket by Reagan Bain at the end of the first to pull them back to within 10. Central Plains led 18-8, and then South Central They got it as close to a 7 as they started out the second quarter with a quick three-pointer again by Reagan Bain, 18-11. But then that's when the Lady Oilers had enough. They go on a 10-0 run to open this one up, now on top 34-16 here at halftime. Lady Oilers, you talk about being calm, and we mentioned the first couple of minutes. No one scored in the first 90 seconds, kind of feeling each other out a little bit, but Central Plains very calm with all those seniors. They eventually adjusted, Gary.
Yeah, they just exude the confidence of a team that's been there, that no panic. And as you said, you used the word shell-shocked earlier, when that run hit. And it did look like the T-Wolves were a little bit shell-shocked. The game was fairly close. They were keeping Central Plains kind of contained a little bit. And then all of a sudden, a couple of three-pointers, you get the ball moving down the floor really fast, and they're scoring in transition. All of a sudden, it's a 10-point lead, just like that. And that does have a tendency to kind of make you a little wide-eyed a little bit about your opponent.
And it almost kind of seems that South Central is taking their chances with Central Plains shooting the three. Yeah, they know they can make it, and I don't blame them. If you're South Central, that might be the key. Maybe you catch Central Plains on an off shooting night and they don't hit very many of them. So kind of rolling the dice a little bit with the outside shots.
Yeah, I think, they've played zone defense, and I think if you're really concerned about those three-point shooters, you probably have to be a little bit more spread out on that perimeter. However, that really hasn't been where they've been hurt as bad. It's been the transition points, I think, that have really been damaging to South Central, because they miss a shot, or even when they make a shot on their end, the ball is so quickly down to the other end and the shot attempt is up that their head's on a swivel and they're having trouble getting back to play defense when the ball's already going through the hoop.
Central Plains on top of this one, 34-16. We'll be back with your halftime numbers after this on B104.3 The Point.
Only 0.5% of all high school student athletes play basketball in college. But all 100% of them become adults. That's why playing basketball on their high school team is so important. High school athletes learn life lessons that help them grow up. Lessons that can't be taught in the classroom and often aren't taught at home. This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by CropWorks agent Jerry Nye, Next Tech Wireless, Millers of Claflin, and First Kansas Bank. Halftime here in St. John at the high school in a packed gym this Saturday evening. St. John and Central Plains boys warming up right now at halftime. We will see them here in a little bit. And Gary, I think this is going to be must-see basketball here tonight. Two of the top teams in Class 2A, St. John, three-time defending state champions. They're looking for it again, but maybe the underdog this year as they've been defeated by Central Plains 3 times, but it should be a great game coming up.
Yeah, these teams have played. This will be the 8th time in 2 seasons that they've played, and last year, of course, St. John won all 4 matchups so far. Central Plains has won all 3 this year, and this year, the last meeting, instead of the state final, it's going to be sub-state finals to see who gets to go. And gosh, what a game it ought to be. All 3 matchups so far this season have been good ball games.
Yeah, we will have the call on that one here in a little bit. But right now at halftime, Central Plains girls on top of South Central by a score of 34-16. Real quickly, some of the individual halftime numbers. Reagan Phelan led the way scoring as she went for 12 points in the first half, including 2 3-pointers. Cassie Kreitz had 4 points. It was Kylie Castleman with 2. 8 points for Taylor Rolfs and 8 points for Janae Ryan. South Central 19-3 on the season. They were led in scoring by Reagan Bain as she finished up with 7 points. 2 for Taylor Bain, also 4 for Haley Unruh, 2 for Tyra Schneider, and 2 points for Cassidy Harris. Central Plains 34, South Central 16. Halftime here, the Substate Championship game in St. John. We'll get you set for the third quarter in 1 minute on B104.3 The Point. Do you have your numbers?
Yep.
Okay, I'll pitch it to you.
Okay.
Coverage of the 2A Substate Championships is brought to you by the Bank of Coldwater, the Bank of Protection, People's Bank Coldwater, and Bar 6 Manufacturing.
Top team in Class 2A on the girls' side, Central Plains taking on the 8th best team in Class 2A, South Central, according to the latest Kansas Basketball Coaches Association poll. Number 1 against number 8. It's number 1 and number 2 here in the St. John Substate. Central Plains girls on top, 34-16. Halftime numbers here, Gary.
Rebounding actually in favor of South Central, probably only because they're shooting a lower percentage from the field. They've got 16 total rebounds, 10 defensive, 6 offensive for Central Plains, 12 total rebounds, 8 on the defensive end, 4 on the offensive end. Reagan Phelan with 2 defensive boards, Cassidy Kreitz with 4, 2 and 2. Kylie Castleman with 2 offensive rebounds, 1 offensive rebound, and Taylor Rolfs with 3 offensive boards for Central Plains.
The Lady Oilers will start out with the basketball to begin at the third quarter on top, 34-16.
Here's a couple halftime scores. Sterling leads Lakin 32-11 at half, and Kinsley and La Crosse 18-18 at halftime out at Kinsley.
Yeah, I'll keep you track on those. Also try to track down some more of the Class 2A scores as we'll try to figure out who will be moving on to Manhattan next week at Bramlage Coliseum. Central Plains working left to right here in the second half, and an airmail pass from Phelan trying to find Rolfs down low, but Rolfs was looking the opposite direction. Goes out of bounds. Just the 5th turnover going against Central Plains.
Almost looked like a little bit of a different defensive look from South Central. Might have confused the Oilers for just a second.
Yeah, Tim Ritzky trying to switch something up to get his team back into this one. Alexander, who got hit at the end of the second quarter, went out. She's in here to start the third quarter. Misses on a jumper, but a foul on the rebound will be whistled against Janae Ryan. That'll be her first. Team's first as well, as we have played 31 seconds here in the third quarter. It'll be underneath for South Central, averaging 56 points per game on the season, held to 16 at halftime.
Wow.
Bain throws it between the circles. Harris has it, picks up the dribble, passes it back out to Bain. Bain hit 1 3 in the first half, leaves it over to Harris. Long 3 on the way, off the front lip, and it's tracked down in the corner by Reagan Phelan. Go ahead.
Third rebound by Phelan, sorry.
Yeah, Phelan, she's pretty much does it all. She averages 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists a game. Oh, yeah, 5 steals per contest as well. She packs the stat sheet out to Ryan. 3-pointer, you betcha.
Wow, that's killer. Janae Ryan with the 3, and that opens it up to a 21-point lead.
Her 4th 3-pointer of the night. We played a minute here in the third quarter. Long, lanky arms of Cassie Kreitz picks up another steal. 12 turnovers going against South Central. Lady Oilers in their home white jerseys here tonight, and placing some similar colors on the opposite team. The Timberwolves of South Central in their hunter green jerseys with the white numbers. Ryan looking for another. Oh, it spins out. Rebound snagged by Alexander as South Central bring it up the other way. Bain, a pretty steady point guard, has done a pretty good job here tonight handling the rock. Has it between the circles, but a bad pass this time as Phelan picks it off, takes it the other way, layup high off the glass and good.
Didn't you just mention that she averages 5 steals a game?
I did. Right on cue, Reagan Phelan gets another bucket.
There's
she has
another
14. Goes the other way, layup again. Same result for Reagan Phelan. Very crafty when she decides to dart in there and take it away as she slaps another one away from South Central. 41-16, Lady Oilers on top. Here's a drive by Alexander, leaves it off in the corner. Now goes the elbow. Unruh, who is limited in action with 2 fouls in the first half, swings it out to her teammate, and Bain rips it through the bottom of the net on a 3-pointer. And that'll be the first bucket of the second half here for South Central as Reagan Bain leads all South Central scores. She has 10 points. 41-19, Lady Oilers on top. Here's Rolfs, into the lane she goes, and draws a pushing foul whistled against South Central which I believe will go against Under. So she has been struggling with foul trouble here tonight as she will pick up her 4th.
Well, that's such a tough defensive assignment to pick up Taylor Rolfe. You know, she's 5'11". She can shoot the jump shot. And then when the defense is on her, she's able to drive it to the basket.
I had her down for 3 as she remains out on the floor right now. Scoreboard put it up as 4. Phelan has an open look, lets it fly, and sends it down. Reagan Phelan wide open on the wing. She continues to impress here this Saturday evening in the Substate Championship game, doing a little bit of everything. 44-19. Lady Oilers just roll, and here's Phelan with another steal. 2-on-1 as Kreitz to the left, puts it up herself, no good, left is strong, and Under has the rebound for South Central. Just under 5 minutes to go, Bain pulls up, 13-footer, will not fall. Offensive rebound, shot blocked, but a foul. It'll send Taylor Bain to the free throw line. So Taylor and Reagan Bain both on the floor right now for South Central.
The 3rd rebound for Taylor Bain. 2nd offensive rebound. She's going to get a couple of free throws if she was fouled, putting it back up.
South Central, not a good free throw shooting team at 56% so far in the season. Taylor puts this one up and sinks it, though, as she shoots right at 51%. She's up to 3 points.
Ashton Schneider checks in as Haley Unruh goes to the bench for the T-Wolves.
Well, South Central, they went 17-6 last year. They got to this Substate Championship game last year as well, as the 2nd free throw does not fall for Bain, but they lost to Mountain Ridge in the Substate Championship game last year, the team that Central Plains beat in the state title game in Class 2A. Rolfes has it near corner. Central Plains on top by 24 points as they lead 44-20. Phelan angles in through the lane, goes back up top, now to Ryan, swings it around. Here's Rolfe with a left-handed dribble, floats a pass to Castleman, midway through the paint. Phelan pro hops into the lane, out to Rolfes, wide open. She has a 3. Wow. Taylor Rolfes left wide open in the corner, drains it. She has 11.
What a feed from Phelan. She drew the defense into the paint, threw it out in the corner where Rolfes was all alone.
Bain, nice bounce pass, goes down low to Taylor Bain, and she'll draw a foul against Central Plains. So a good look from Reagan to Taylor, and it'll send Taylor Bain to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Janae Ryan with her 2nd foul.
Well, Central Plains knocked off Ellenwood in the first round easily enough, 78-17. Defeated Pratt Skyline on Thursday night in the semifinals, 66-28, as Taylor Bain misfires on the first.
Maxwell and Steiner return to the Oiler lineup.
A couple more seniors coming off the bench for head coach Pat Stiles, trying to get their 23rd win of the season. Bain can't find the range on either one of the free throws. Rebound knocked out of bounds, last touch by Phelan, and will remain with the Timberwolves from Coldwater. 4:06 to go, 3rd quarter. Central Plains on top, 47-20. Game 1 of 2 here for the Substate Championships on B104.3 The Point, GrapeInPost.com, and also Kiowa County Media Center. Left side, Bain, 3-pointer. This one swirls out. Rebound snag by Steiner. Under halfway through our 3rd quarter, Central Plains on top by 27, as they'll be a little bit more patient on this offensive series. But now Castleman, 1 power dribble, back out to Phelan, takes it down to the free throw line, now circles back out, attacks again with the hesitation dribble, and she travels with it. It'll be a turnover against Phelan.
Got tied up there, and they say before the tie-up, she shuffled her feet. Be a turnover and give the ball back to South Central with 3:43 left here in the 3rd.
So Central Plains able to hold on for the next 12 or 11 plus minutes. They would play on Wednesday in Manhattan at Bramlage Coliseum. So the girls start out the tournament. The boys will play on that Thursday for their opening round on the campus of K-State University. 3-pointer by Alexander, a deep one. Can't get the bank shot to fall in, and a scramble for the rebound. It'll be a tie-up, and the possession arrow keeps it with South Central with 3:23 to go in our 3rd.
Nice battle for that rebound. Both teams still going hard at it, and the tie-up gives the ball back to South Central.
Well, no team in Class 2A has won 3 straight state championships since Mound Ridge back in 1996 through 99. So it's been a while in Class 2A. Of course, you got the Hoxies and teams like that in Class 1A Division I that have won 4 in a row, but no one in 2A since 99 for Mound Ridge. Shot misses by Bain. Phelan has the rebound. It zigs and zags, zips it down low. Rouse puts it in off the glass. Beautiful find again by Phelan, as Rawls puts it in off the window. She has 13.
You can't teach that court vision of Reagan Phelan. She just sees the whole floor. She sees everybody. She knows exactly where her teammates are going to be to set Rolfs up for an easy bucket.
Ron McHenry, a very happy guy at Washburn University, as he'll have Phelan as a freshman next year. The drive by Bain, it draws a foul. With 2:50 to go here in the third quarter, Janae Ryan got a long rest. She'll check out or check in as Taylor Rolfs goes to the bench. 2:50 remaining third quarter. And they are actually going to call it out of bounds. It'll go back over to Central Plains. Lady Oilers on top, 49-20. As there's an 8-6 contest midway through the first quarter. A 10-0 run by Central Plains, and they have rolled since then. Ryan leaves it off in the paint. Castleman with a nice move across the lane. Can't get the shot to fall. Taylor Bain has the rebound. Here's Reagan, sends it over right side, dribbles it down to the baseline. Alexander now with it. Chest pass goes out to Schneider. Goes to the elbow now for Ashton Schneider. Puts up a tough shot, no good. Follow-up is stuck in there by Taylor Bain. She has 5 points. 2:16 to go third quarter, 49-22.
A nice offensive rebound and a put back there for Bain. She's got 5 rebounds in the game so far.
Well, South Central came into tonight's matchup on a 9-game winning streak as Maxwell was open in the far corner but throws it back out, looking to take a little bit more time off the clock with this big lead. Ryan skips it over near corner. And really none of those games in that 9-game winning streak as Phelan rips it through the bottom of the net again on a three-pointer. That 9-game winning streak has just kind of been blowouts for the Lady Timberwolves.
South Central had changed up their defense and extended it out like we talked about at halftime. That didn't matter. They moved the ball around enough, nice ball movement, and Phelan gets an open look.
Yeah, the Central Plains can pretty much choose what they want to do right now. If they want to kind of live by the three, not a real big problem right now with the big lead, as a shot will not fall for Schneider. Rebound snagged by Ryan. Final 80 seconds here of the second quarter. Rawls and a couple more teammates go to the scores table here in St. John. Pass up top to Phelan, was open. Instead, 2 dribbles to the right, puts it in the hands of Ryan. Back out to Phelan, lets it rip. Heels off, no good. And a nice rebound by Bain as she was pushed from behind by Castleman. And for Kylie Castleman, that'll be her second.
That's just the 4th team foul on the Lady Oilers, and the second called on Castleman.
Always kind of interesting to see Phelan when she checks out of the ball game. Pat Stiles always kind of has a quick conversation with her to see what's going on out there on the court. Kind of another coach, if you will, out on the floor for Reagan Phelan. She's on the bench right now as Schneider puts on the floor to the free throw line for South Central. Final 50 seconds. Pass down low, bobble away, and a tie-up will take it over to Central Plains. 48.3 to go. Lady Oilers on top by 30.
Well, even in a game like this, Reagan is on the floor most of the time. You know, she'll get a quick breather here and there, but for the most part, she's on the floor. She's our field general. You know, she's the one that's handling the basketball.
Steiner back into the game now for Central Plains. Leads it off left side. Baseline jumper misfires for Maxwell. Rebound is there for Unruh. Had it taken away by Rolfs, and she lays it in. Rolfs just out-muscled her down low and took it away from Unruh and puts it in off the glass. 54-22. Three-pointer Alexander goes strong. Ryan with the rebound for Central Plains. Here come the Lady Oilers. Steiner dribbles it down the baseline, finds a cutting Rawls, layup strong. Rebound on the weak side. Kreitz has his putback stuck through as Cassie Kreitz kind of quietly goes about her business. She has 6 points here this evening. She's been a great force on the defensive end. A 3 misses by Bain, and that'll do it for the end of the third quarter. Central Plains, they led 34-16 at halftime. They continue to roll in the third quarter as they are 8 minutes away from going to another state tournament in Manhattan. Central Plains 56, South Central 22. Back in a minute on B104.3 The Point.
Coverage of the 2A Substate Championships is brought to you by the Bank of Coldwater, the Bank of Protection, People's Bank Coldwater, and Bar 6 Manufacturing.
Only 0.5% of all high school student athletes play basketball in college, but all 100% of them become adults. That's why playing basketball in their high school team is so important. High school athletes learn life lessons that help them grow up, lessons that can't be taught in the classroom and often aren't taught at home. This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Getting started in the fourth quarter here at St. John High School. Substate Championship game this Saturday night. Central Plains, they are pounding South Central 56-22. Here's Reagan Bain, crossover dribble, frees herself open for a shot. Line drive, shot will not fall. And now a foul on the putback by Taylor Bain will send Taylor back to the free throw line where she has struggled so far here tonight. Big lead for Central Plains. Gary, they outscored South Central 22-6 in the third quarter.
That's the sixth rebound for Taylor Bain.
Still can't find the right touch on that free throw as she is 1 of 4 so far here tonight. And that was the third personal foul on Castleman.
I can do you one better than that out in Lakin in 3A in the first 6 minutes of the third quarter, a 20-3 run for Sterling. They lead at 52-14. I think it's safe to say the Sterling girls go headed to state.
Yeah, some talent advancing probably into the state tournament. Second free throw falls in for Taylor Bain, 56-23. Continuous clock here in the fourth quarter as Rawls misses on a bunny putback, misses again. A rare couple of misses for Taylor Rawls as a 5'11 senior. Trots back the other way. 6:42 to go. Like I said, continuous clock here in the fourth quarter as South Central turns it over. It was Castleman jumping in front of the passing lane. Ross with the theft. 6:34 remaining fourth quarter. 56-23. Central Plains went on a 10-0 run when it was a 2-point contest halfway through the first quarter. Led by 10 at the end of the first. Led by 18 at halftime. And they led by 34 points coming into this fourth quarter. Kreitz, one dribble, takes it down the elbow, goes back out to Ryan. Stretching things out here for Central Plains. Kreitz has it along the baseline. Lady Oilers 22-0 on the year. A lot of Hunter Green here tonight in St. John as Rolfs misses another layup. And now Phelan skipping through has a steal and a layup. She didn't even reach in with her hand. She stole that one with her hip as she guided in there between the pass and knocked it over, making sure she didn't commit the foul. When you have talent, you have talent.
That's 5 steals just in the second half for Phelan tonight.
Unbelievable game here in the Substate Championship contest for the soon-to-be Washburn University player. Now reach and foul down low as Unruh was making her way through the lane. Will go against Central Plains, and for Castleman, that'll be her fourth. So it'll be Casey Steiner coming back in. Also, Kendi Maxwell check into the contest as that clock continues to roll here in the fourth quarter, 58-23 in favor of Central Plains. I thought maybe South Central, they had some athletic bodies. They'd be able to maybe keep up defensively with Central Plains, but that has not been the case here tonight as offensively, Lady Timberwolves from Coldwater have struggled here tonight, just finding open looks. As a tie-up will send it back over to Central Plains.
Well, that tie-up comes from a block by Taylor Rolfs, as I think it was Harris that took it in there, and Rolfs said, not so fast.
Yeah, this is a young group from South Central, so they might have some chances later on here the next couple of years as Ryan misfires on a three-pointer, is knocked out of bounds. Last touch in a rat race for the ball on Central Plains, so remain with the Timberwolves. 4:26 and counting here in the fourth quarter. Central Plains on top 58-23. So easy wins throughout this sub-states once again in 2016 for Lady Oilers as they knocked off Ellenwood 78-17 in the first round. Pratt Skyline 66-28 in the semifinals. And they are blowing out South Central here in the Substate Championship game. Rawls puts in another one.
Boy, what a nice touch from a young lady, 5'11". She can shoot it outside, take it inside. That was great touch, just a couple of feet in front of the lip, and it crawled right in.
Not so much on the touch for Reagan Bain on the other end as she airballs a three-pointer out of bounds as the reserves are coming to the scores table for Central Plains as their fans recognize that they're going to Manhattan next week. Steiner has a pass kicked, and it'll stay with Central Plains with just under 3:30 to go here in the contest. That starting five, they check out of the ball game, and a new fresh five coming in for Central Plains as they're on top 60-23, and the hugs and congratulations start for the Lady Oilers as they will be going to the Class 2A State Championship tournament again as they look for a three-peat in 2016. So Chelsea Bieberly into the game, and now for Central Plains. Keely Hip also onto the floor here for Lady Oilers as a bad pass stolen away. Bucket good on the other end for Taylor Bain, and she gets harmed as well. As Taylor Bain has moved her way up to 8 points here tonight as she will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, just a bad pass here near the top of the key and results in a turnover and a layup. Free throw, though, no good for Bain.
Kirsten Gunder also into the game now for Central Plains. Rebound finally pulled out of there by the Lady Oilers. 2.5 to go, 60-25. All Lady Oilers here as a pass from Bieberly goes out of bounds along the baseline. Back over to South Central.
What a surgical effort by this team. They just carve you up and they take what they want. And just watching Pat Stiles' team, talk about a team that emulates the demeanor of their coach. He's very quiet and very reserved, but yet very intense. And that's the way his team operates.
Yeah, he gets it done year after year as a shot misfires. Alexander collects a rebound, goes through traffic and lays it in. Tough shot by Alexander as she was whipped pretty much every which direction, but she lays it in on the right side. That's her first bucket here tonight. You talk about the job Central Plains done defensively as South Central comes up with a steal, and Bain is bumped on her way to the basket. But you talk about the defensive job for Central Plains. Second best scorer for South Central, Riley Alexander, averaging 10 points per game on the season. That was her first bucket of the night.
Wow. Yeah, it's been just a smothering defense for Central Plains, and they get their hands on so many cross-court passes, and even sometimes those passes might get through, but they don't come through unaltered, and it just throws off the timing of your offense.
Free throw not there. Rebound is there for Julie Donaker. 1:05 to go, fourth quarter. Central Plains just absolutely controlling the Substate Championship game against South Central, 60-27. Pass deflected near midcourt, saved by Central Plains as Gunder had it momentarily but loses it to South Central. Bain, layup no good, and Unruh is fouled on the follow-up as she will have 2 free throws as we continue to roll here in the fourth quarter with a continuous clock now under 40 seconds.
That's the 7th rebound for Haley Unruh. She'll be at the line.
Tough one for the senior as she had some foul trouble in this ball game, was limited on her action on the floor. She misfires on the first free throw. Well, South Central 19-3 on the season. They will see their 9-game winning streak come to a close, and also their season coming to an end as well as Unruh connects on 1 of 2 free throws. Final 15 seconds here in St. John. Lady Oilers on top by 32 points. It's been a lapper here tonight in the Tiger Country. Donaker has on a low block. Final 4 seconds. The bench is up for Central Plains, and the buzzer sounds into St. John. It's final. Central Plains, they're making the route back to Manhattan here in 2016, and the three-peat hopes are still alive as Central Plains will be one of the final 8 in Class 2A. They knock off South Central 60-28. We'll tell you all about the game coming up in 2 minutes on B1043 The Point.
When I text while driving, I put myself and others at risk.
When I drink, my reaction time is much slower than normal.
When I allow my friends to distract me while I'm driving, I'm at fault too.
When I have been drinking, my hand-eye coordination is much less.
Driving while distracted and driving while impaired
can damage lives
forever.
forever.
night. Game 1 of 2 in the books here at St. John High School. Central Plains girls easily advance to the Class 2A state tournament as they knock off South Central here this evening by a final 60-28. It was a 3-0 game early on with a Reagan Phelan three-pointer. South Central knocked down a bucket, got it 3-2. It was an 8-6 contest halfway through the first quarter. That's when Central Plains went on a 10-0 run. They led 18-6, or at that point, led by 10 at the end of the first quarter, led by 18 at the end of the second quarter, and also had a 32-point lead, actually a 34-point lead at the end of the third quarter, and really just dominated in every fashion of the ball game here tonight, Gary, as Central Plains will be going to compete for another state championship.
Yeah, it's, again, like I said, just a very workmanlike effort. And these guys have been here. They've done it. You don't want to say that it's easy for them, because it's not, but they just work so hard on defense. It translates into some easy shots at the other end. They run their breaks so well. There was just a point where you could just see that it just wasn't going to happen for South Central, because Central Plains just too strong, and they've got so much experience at all positions. They bring experience off the bench, and there's just not a lot you can do when teams are hitting from outside and turning you over for easy points.
And we mentioned the packed house here in St. John, let alone for the girls' game. It's going to be standing room only, and if the fire marshal comes by here tonight, there might be some illegal activity going on at St. John High School, because the boys' game coming up shortly here is we'll kind of have an extended post-game show, as they will be announced with the Substate Championship plaque, so that'll be coming out. So an extended post-game show on B104.3 The Points, but that boys' game coming up, St. John and Central Plains, and we've had people fighting for seats even behind us here tonight, so we could probably make quite the profit if we eventually sold out these final 2 spots here behind us, but Joey Barr says no, not happening here. So very, very packed house. So if you're thinking about coming out to St. John, you might be able to see part of the game from the end zone doors, but other than that,
pretty small windows.
Yeah, exactly. Not a whole lot of room here at St. John High School, as we expect a very good game coming up as well in the boys' game. But on the girls' side, all Central Plains here tonight as they rout South Central by a score of 60-28. So the Lady Oilers now 23-0 on the season, as they will go to the state title, the state tournament, I should say, in Manhattan. They will play on a Wednesday night at Bramlage Coliseum. So the girls start out the Class 2A state tournament on Wednesday for their first round. The boys will be playing on Thursday there at Bramlage Coliseum. And of course, we'll have the coverage for you here on Eagle Radio, and also a number of other different stations that'll be swarming through the campus of Kansas State University. But you look at Central Plains, you talked about kind of picking and choosing what they wanted to do here tonight. They missed their first couple of threes in the first 2 minutes of the first quarter, but it wasn't really that big of a deal for the Lady Oilers. They knew they were going to start to fall, and eventually they did.
Absolutely. We talked about how they just approached it in a very calm way, and things didn't quite happen for them in that first 2-3 minutes of the ball game. They settled in. Phelan got that 3 to go, and then it was just kind of like they said, "Yeah, we can. This is no different than any other night. Let's just do our thing." And you just get that feeling from Pat Stiles that that's what he wants to worry about. I don't think he concerns himself a whole lot with what other teams are going to do. His scouting report is probably pretty short. I think he probably focuses a whole lot more on what his team needs to do and do better from game to game. And tonight, they just really had the total package. And I just thought the defensive effort, like you said, South Central averaging, I think you said 56 points a game. To be shut down the way they were shut down tonight, that speaks volumes. And, what's the old adage? Defense wins championships.
And Central Plains, they've only been giving up 28 points per game. They're right on their average here tonight, as they hold South Central to just 28 points here this evening, as Central Plains gets an easy victory in the Substate Championship game, as they will be moving on to Manhattan in a Class 2A. Talk about Reagan Phelan. I mean, the story all season long and over the last 3+ years have been Reagan Phelan and Taylor Rawls on the Central Plains team, and she really stepped up here tonight. Not only scoring the ball, she went over for 20 points here this evening. Usually that's all you get She had steals. She had timely rebounds. She had the assists as well. A number of her long court passes. She looked legit for real here tonight to the championship game.
Oh, absolutely. Her quickness out near midcourt. Some of the turnovers that she created were right in the center circle, against the what you would assume is the best ball handler for South Central, bringing the ball down, and she's picking the pocket of that ball handler, taking it to the other end for a layup. I think she had forced 5 turnovers, had 5 steals in that second half, and I think they scored on 4 of those. So those are points that not only are the points you don't get because you gave up the possession, but then you're giving up points on the other end. So it's not just a 2-point swing, it's a 4 or 5 point swing because of the points you weren't getting on the one end and the points you gave up on the other.
Last year, Central Plains, they went through El Saline, Plainville, and Ellenwood in the sub-states. This year, they go through Ellenwood again, Pratt Skyline in the semifinals, and South Central here tonight as they win by 32 points, 60-28 is the final. And South Central, Gary, if you can try to put this in perspective as far as what Central Plains saw here tonight in South Central, they're 19-3 on the season. They play teams like Spearville, Kiowa County, South Barber as well. This isn't a bad club that Central Plains just boat raced.
No, they, Central Plains is good enough to make a great team like that look fairly average, on a night like this. And that's exactly what they did. And as we talked about before we even began the ball game, Central Plains starts at 2 seniors, 3 juniors. They bring juniors off the bench. They bring seniors off the bench. That's a huge luxury for Pat Stiles. That's a luxury that Tim Ritzke just does not have, and he's got to start a couple of sophomores. They don't have that experience. They don't have that big game experience, and as things started to go against them a little bit and some of those negative plays happen, they didn't handle it very well.
Well, finally 20 minutes now on the clock before tip-off for the boys game of Central Plains and St. John. So the boys for the Tigers and Oilers take to the court now to begin their warm-ups. We'll take a break in our post-game show. When we come back, we'll run through the numbers of tonight's first game as the Central Plain girls rolled over South Central by a score of 60-28. Back in 1 minute on B104.3 The Point. Service Center and the Odin store. Getting set for the boys game here in a little bit, so let's go ahead and put the finishing touches here of the girls Substate Championship game in St. John here tonight in Class 2A. Central Plains absolutely no problems this evening as they knock off South Central by a score of 60-26. Leading the way for the Lady Oilers was Reagan Phelan as she finished up with 22 points here this evening, and really doesn't take that many threes. She's not a bad shooter from outside, but she really kind of can pick and choose whatever she wants to do, if she wants to get in a lane or mostly pass the ball first. But Phelan, she had some open looks here tonight, and she knocked down 4 of them here this evening as she finished up with a game-high 22 points. Cassie Kreitz finished up with 6, Kylie Castleman with 2, Taylor Rawls finished strong with 15 points, and it was Janae Ryan knocking down 4, actually 3 3-pointers as she finished up with 12 points here this evening. For South Central, their season closes at 19-4 on the year for head coach Tim Ritzke. 2 points for Cassidy Harris, 2 for Tyra Schneider, 5 points for Haley Unruh in foul trouble here tonight, 8 points for Taylor Bain, 2 for Riley Alexander, 10 points for Reagan Bain, and that does it for the scoring here for South Central. Central Plains, they looked impressive in the team numbers as well, Gary.
Absolutely. Rebounds, 21 total rebounds for Central Plains. They got 12 defensive boards, 9 offensive rebounds. Timberwolves actually out-rebounded Central Plains, but they had to. They missed quite a few more shots. They had 26 total rebounds, 16 on the defensive end, 10 offensive boards. But Central Plains just, the shooting percentage on the other end more than offset a 5 rebound difference between these two teams.
And I know you see a lot of maybe some bigger classes throughout your coverage of Larned Indian basketball throughout the season, but in your opinion, Central Plains, do they have the easy path again for a third straight?
Well, I tell you what, if they're not in the finals, it would be a shock to me. I don't know. It would sure be nice. Buddy Tabler, my broadcast partner, always talks about when there used to be what was called I think it was called the Grand State, where they took the state championship, the state champions, and then put them in a bracket to play to find out who the best team is for all classes. And I'm telling you that a game between Sterling's girls and Central Plains girls would be a tremendous ball game.
What if you threw in a Hoxie in there too?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Those are some fantasy type games. But Sterling, we talked about them earlier. They won it 57-27, so their girls are going to state. They got a chance for their boys and girls to both go to the state tournament tonight. We're keeping an eye on the game at Kinsley. 41-38, lacrosse leading Kinsley's girls with 3:03 left in Kinsley. So the Kinsley girls trying to get back to state, I think, for the first time in about something like 15 years.
Wow. And you talk about, Central Plains, they wouldn't have a shot against the big schools, would they? Well, they took on Dodge City, a 6A school, earlier this year and beat them by 10.
Yeah.
So I think they would fare pretty well.
Yeah, and their style of play is what gives them the opportunity to beat anybody. Because as we talked about, they're not really a team that operates on emotion necessarily. They operate on consistency and execution, doing things right every time down the floor, and then when that gives you the opportunity to run, you run. If it doesn't, you pull up in your half-court offense and you execute well, and then you just play solid defense. And defense is all about want to. Defense isn't necessarily as much about talent as it is just effort, and this team gives you as much effort as anybody you're going to see.
Yeah, the 1-2 was here this Saturday night in St. John for the Central Plains girls as they knock off South Central 60-28. The Lady Oilers will play Wednesday in Manhattan at Bramlage Coliseum for the first round of the Class 2A state championships. That'll do it for the girls broadcast. The boys already warming up here tonight at St. John High School in a packed house this Saturday evening. We'll start the pregame show for the boys game in 2 minutes on B104.3 The Point.
Kinsley's best player fouled out. Uh-oh.
The internet has drastically changed the way we communicate. Are you keeping up with the times? The Kiowa County Media Center can connect you with viewers in markets all over the region, the state, and the world. Our technology keeps us on pace with the high demand of internet video content. Bring your audience from anywhere in the world to your wedding, conference, sporting event, concert, and much more. No one does high-quality video streaming like us. We are the Kiowa County Media Center, leading the new age of communication.
Every day, area producers rely on the employees and services at Tyree Ag. We understand that the timing of agricultural inputs is essential, and that's why we strive to provide timely and efficient services and proven reliable products you can count on. Tyree Ag offers quality aerial and ground application, precision ag services, fertilizer, seed, and a broad selection of crop protection and biostimulant products. Contact us today or visit us online. Tyree Ag, to make your job easier.
Agriculture today is such a dynamic market. Prices are moving, the input costs are fluctuating, equipment costs, all of these things add up. We're here to help those farmers for their success. That's really what an ag dealership today needs to do, is be on their best game all the time so that we can help our farmers achieve what they need. And if they want to pass that down to their children and their children's children, they've got to have a good partner behind them. That's BTI.
We get set for the second game of this evening in St. John at the high school for Substate Championship Saturday. Glad to have you aboard on B1043 The Points, GreatBendPost.com, and also the Kiowa County Media Center. Cole Reif with you and Gary Wagner in St. John as we get set for the Tigers and the Oilers. Central Plains High School against St. John High School. I don't know if you really need to say a whole lot more, especially people in Central Kansas. They know what this has kind of turned into over the past few years. The thorn in the side of Central Plains on their way to a state tournament has been St. John. A guy by the name of Dean Wade and company, they have been able to lead St. John to 3 straight state championships, 2 in 2A, 1 in 1A Division I. He's graduated. Things have turned a little bit for Central Plains as they now have a lot of seniors on this year's club that are ready to go, and they've knocked off St. John not once, not twice, but 3 times already here on the season, including a 1-point win in Claflin earlier this month. So, if you look at the way things have progressed, Gary, on the 3 games of the season, midway through, Central Plains beat them by 13. In Claflin, back on February 5th, it was a 1-point contest on their home floor against Central Plains. Might this be St. John's chance to say, hey, we're still the top dog in Class 2A as we are the 3-time defending state champs?
Well, it's their last chance. You know, they're not going to get another shot at Central Plains here. And, you know, this has become an incredibly heated rivalry between these two schools because of all the matchups. You know, like I said, last year they played 4 times. St. John won all 4. And fortunately, the KSHSAA found it in their wisdom to split them up in Substate last year. They met in the state finals, which was the 3rd straight championship for St. John. However, as you said, Central Plains has owned the rivalry this year. They have not been blowouts. They weren't last year. They weren't this year. Obviously, the absence of Dean Wade hurts the St. John team, but here they are again. You know, without Dean, they've lost to Central Plains, and that's it. So these two teams are just, it's a collision course every time for these two teams. And, you know, nothing better than to watch a couple of teams and a couple of fan bases that, well, maybe don't care for each other that much because of the heated rivalry that they've had over the last 2 to 3 years. And, you know, that's what makes it fun.
Well, I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, would-have, should-haves, could-haves. You know, Central Plains fans, you know, you had a chance. You still could have beat them. But they have a legitimate chance to say if St. John didn't exist, they'd probably be state champs here over the last 2 years.
Absolutely, yeah. They certainly played a great game in the state finals last year. And if I remember right, they led at the end of the 3rd quarter, and it took a really big effort for the Tigers to come back and win that state championship game. So, you know, I think for St. John to win this tonight, I think they have to maybe do something just a little different. It wouldn't surprise me to see Clint Kinnaman come out with some wrinkle that he hasn't shown in the previous 3 games. Not necessarily that Clint feels that he would have to do that, but I think that that's just kind of his nature to, if watching him coach and watching how he works officials and how he sees the game, you know, he might be telling himself, I don't really mind that we lost these 3 games so far this season. This is the one that matters, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him come out with something, just some different look. I'm not talking about junk defenses, but maybe a different defense than he's shown before, or some different offensive look than he's shown before. You know, just to change it up a little bit and give his team the idea that, hey, we have an edge because we're going to show them something they haven't seen before.
Top two of the top 4 teams in Class 2A going at it tonight in the St. John Substate. Top seed of this Substate, Central Plains, 22-0 on the season against the 2 seed St. John, 18-3 on the year. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll hit up our starting lineups. It's the Tigers and Oilers. Stick with us here on B104.3 The Points. Back in a minute.
Coverage of the 2A Substate Championship games is brought to you by S&J Bank of Kansas, Tyree Ag, and BTI.
24, 33, and 44.
Got it.
About guarantee it.
Getting closer to tip-off between Central Plains and St. John in a much-anticipated Substate Championship game in St. John at the high school here as fans continue to try to squeeze in as much as possible.
They're going to need ushers in here in a minute.
I haven't checked up above in a while, but now as I glance back, it is packed as well. Across the way, I see a few seats, probably already reserved though. And next to ours, to our right, and also to our left, it is jam-packed here, and this is the place to be in Central Kansas on a Saturday night.
There haven't been this many cameras in a town this size unless there's a tornado, because this is a popular ticket, guys.
It's been like ESPN Game Day here in St. John. You have like 4 or 5 radio stations. We got the Kiowa County Media Center, who's covering tonight's action as well at kcmcsports.com. Grant Newhold and his crew doing an excellent job. And we just got everybody in here, and rightfully so. Like I said, the place to be, St. John 18-3 on the season. All 3 of their losses coming to Central Plains. The Oilers, the top team in Class 2A, as they are the runner-up to St. John in the state tournament last year at 22-0 on the season. Brett Rolfs, the head coach for the Oilers, his starting lineup will look like this. Number 1, Braden Kreitz, 6'2 senior, averaging 7.6 rebounds, 4 assists a game. Kreitz leads the team in rebounding and assists so far this year. Number 2, Devin Ryan, 5'10 freshman, great outside shooter. Hit a couple last night in the semifinal win against Ellenwood. He has knocked down 43 so far this year. Jacob Warnkin, the 5'11", 176 senior, averaging 9 points, 3 rebounds a game. He had a great first half in that win against Ellenwood on Friday night as he hit 4 3-pointers. Brady Rugen, 6'1", 210 senior, 5 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist a game, and a little bit of foul trouble last night in the semifinal. Didn't make much of a difference, but he is kind of limited in playing action Friday evening. And also Michael Ryan, the senior point guard, 6'1", 175, averaging 18 points per game, leads the team in scoring, steals, and free throws made so far this year. St. John, they circle out in their warm-ups right here at St. John High School, 18-3. Another team out of the CPL for head coach Clint Kinnaman in his 15th season as the head coach of St. John. He has won 4 state titles, 2007, 2013, 14, and 15. He's looking for another one here, but he might be the underdog coming in against St. John or Central Plains on his home floor. His starting lineup will be number 3, Quincy Smith, the 5'10 sophomore, averaging 6 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists a game. Number 10, Cole Kinnaman, the son of Clint, the 6-foot junior, averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists a game. Number 24, Jorge Caleros, the 6-foot junior, 14 points, 5 rebounds a game. He went for 13 last night in their semifinal win against Pratt Skyline. They destroyed the Thunderbirds 73-44. Chase Fisher, he's coming on strong at the end of the season. 6'4 sophomore, 8 points, 5 rebounds a game. And Jacob Milton down low, the 6'3 senior, 8 points and 5 rebounds a contest. Let's look at the starting lineups here tonight. We have St. John and Central Plains boys just moments away from tip-off in the Substate Championship game. We'll be back to St. John High School in 1 minute on B104.3 The Point.
The weather just seemed a little bit unusual.
The sound was just
You can
deafening.
hear and feel things just breaking up.
School was
above
gone,
you.
my church was gone, my town was gone. What are we going to do?
We could rebuild it. We could start over and rebuild a whole community. Let's rebuild the town. Let's work together. Let's try to do it right.
The spirit of the community, we will rebuild.
Maybe we do have to do it different.
To be able to make a difference that can be felt for generations, it's very exciting.
Come and experience the story in Greensburg.
Championship Saturday about ready to continue here at St. John High School as we have the Oilers and the Tigers. St. John on their home floor, but the 2 seed, a rare 2 seed for Clint Kinnaman and his crew as they take on the undefeated Central Plains Oilers here tonight for the right to go to the state tournament in Manhattan on Thursday for the first round. Other teams still alive in Class 2A, Mound Ridge, Berean Academy, Hill City, and Ellis going at it in the Substate Championship game. Valley Falls against Jeff County North, Olpe and Waubonsee. Also at St. Mary's Colgan against Uniontown High School. Meade against Sublette in Sublette this evening. Republic County against Valley Heights. And then we have St. John and Central Plains. We'll take our final break of our pregame show. Back with tip-off in 2 minutes on B104.3 The Point.
Senior high schools in Kansas.
Kinsley won.
High School Activities Association. The tournament winner will be honored as the 2016 2A Substate Champion and will represent this substate in Manhattan, Kansas at the state tournament next week. Good luck to both teams. Tonight's title game. On the scoreboard, the number 2 seed coming into the Substate tournament wearing the dark uniforms tonight in this Class 2A Substate title game, the St. John Tigers. They will be playing the number 1 seed in this year's Substate tournament, wearing the white jerseys, the Central Plains Oilers. Alternating the starting lineup, starting with the St. John Tigers, number 3, a 5'10" sophomore, Quincy. And for the Oilers, number 1, a 6'2" senior, team captain Braden Price. For the Tigers, number 10, a 6-foot junior, team captain Cole Kinnaman. The Central Plains, number 2, a 5'10" freshman, Devin Ryan. For the Tigers, number 24, a 6-foot junior, team captain Jorge Calero. The Central Plains, number 5, a 5'11" senior team captain Jacob Lundgren. And for the Tigers, number 33, a 6'4" sophomore, Chase Fisher. The Central Plains, number 13, a 6'1" senior, Brady Rugen. For the St. John Tigers, wears number 44, a 6'3" senior, Jacob Milton. The Oilers, number 20, a 6'1" senior, team captain Michael White. The St. John Tigers head coach in his 15th season at St. John, Clint Kinnaman, is assisted by Kurt Fairchild. Central Plains Oilers head coach Brett Ross, assisted by Aaron Gonzalez. tonight's officials, Doug Poet, Jerry Higgins, and Chris Sundahl.
In favor of Central Plains, who's by 13 back on the 23rd here in St. John. And then they met up just 2 games later for the Tigers. Lost that one in Claflin by 1, 46-45. So I asked you earlier, might this be the time for St. John? They were close in Claflin by 1. They get them on their home court championship game. Do they knock them off?
I've had a feeling all week that it was going to happen. You know, it's kind of stacked that way. It just kind of feels that way. If you're asking me if I think St. John can win this, yeah, I do.
All right, well, we'll find out. It'll be Chase Fisher jumping up against Brady Rugen for Central Plains. 8 minutes on the clock, ready to go here in St. John. Substate Championship game. Glad to have you on B1043 The Points, GreatBendPost.com, and KCMCSports.com for Kiowa County Media Center. Opening tip is won by the St. John Tigers. They attack left to right from our perspective as we are about 3 rows behind the Central Plains bench, and just to the right of the scorers table here in St. John. Spin move, layup is good for Quincy Smith. You talk about getting the crowd behind you early. Smith darts through the lane and lays it in on a spin move. An early 2-0 lead for St. John.
Doesn't look like a sophomore, does he?
Yeah, not at all, as now Michael Ryan answers on the other end. Ryan, a senior, puts in his 2. He kind of had a slow start last night in the semifinal game, but finished strong for 16 points. And a bad pass down low, trying to force it down to Chase Fisher, is picked off by Braden Kreitz. First turnover going against St. John in a 2-2 ball game here at the high school. Michael Ryan picks up the dribble, passes to his brother Devin Ryan. Bounce pass down low. Kreitz back to the basket, 10 feet away. Finds Warnkin, stops on the left elbow, hands it off to Devin Ryan. Played 1 minute here in St. John, tied up at 2s. Winner moves on to the Class 2A state tournament. Warnkin angles through the lane. Short toss pass goes out to Michael Ryan, spins, stuck, back out to Warnkin. He hit 4 3-pointers in the game last night in the semifinals in the first half. He'll have a bounce pass left wing now for Kreitz. Good defense here by St. John. Here's Devin driving right side of lane. Rugen nearly traveled with it, passes it back out to Kreitz. Kreitz still has his dribble, throws it down low. Rugen backing on his defender and draws a foul. Rugen will go to the foul line as Jacob Milton thought he had a lot of ball on that block, but a little bit of body down low as well. It'll send Rugen to the free throw line for 2.
And Coach Kinnaman already working the officials as he normally does, and thought that Jacob had all ball on that one.
Rugen giving Central Plains their first lead of the ball game with the first free throw, 3-2 advantage. We played 90 seconds so far here in our first quarter. Rugen's second free throw, he canned it.
I think St. John really needs a big game out of Chase Fisher tonight.
Yeah, Chase looked pretty good last night in the semifinals. Really kind of the third or maybe even fourth scoring option for St. John. Here's Quincy Smith, the sophomore point guard, takes it down the baseline, back out to Milton, a three-pointer, you betcha! Big game, big shot for Jacob Milton, just his 11th 3 of the season. St. John back up on top by 1, 5-4. 6:05 to go here in the first quarter. Braden Kreitz rocking the green socks here tonight. Crossover dribble, takes his defender to the right side. Short pass goes out to Devin Ryan. Rugen posting up down low. Here's the drive by Warnkin. Nice lead to Rugen. Goes up and puts a shot in. Central Plains on top by 1, at 6-5. Near steal, now Milton pulls up. 15-footer too strong. Tip back out by Kinnaman. And fresh life here for St. John. Caleros has his first touch here tonight. Pretty good scorer, averaging 14 points per game. He's the second leading scorer on the team. Nice pass to Fisher, and he is hacked on his way to the hole as Braden Kreitz came over the top, and he'll pick up his first personal foul.
Nice pass inside to Fisher, and he took it right to the cup, got fouled. You talked about Jorge Calero. That's a kid that might slip through the cracks at another school, and Coach Kinnaman's made a ball player out of this guy.
Yeah, he has done an excellent job, and just a junior as Fisher connects on the first free throw for his first point here tonight and ties this one up at 6. He had 10 points last night in the semifinal win against Pratt Skyline. The Thunderbirds kind of scared St. John early on in that game as they had a 14-11 lead. I think it was early on in the second quarter. but St. John, they would go on to roll 73-44. Missing on the second free throw for Chase Fisher, tied up at 6 as we played almost 3 minutes. Warnkin switches over to the left hand, down the left side of the lane, bounce pass, opposite direction. Here's Kreitz, too strong, dribbles out to Warnkin, three-pointer, rims off. Kreitz with the rebound, goes up, has it altered, no good, and Quincy Smith has to clear out for St. John. Well, Central Plains fans wanted a foul on the rebound. They will not get it. Here come the Tigers in a tied ball game at 6s. Play 3 minutes here in the first quarter. Kinnaman yet to score so far in the first 3 minutes. Passes between the rings now to Caleros. The junior slowly walks things over to the right side. He's guarded by Michael Ryan. Has his pass deflected, but saved by Fisher. Here's Kinnaman with the right hand into the lane. Bounce it off the foot of Milton, but saves it on the three-point line. Wide open down low. Fisher reverse layup goes in. A broken down play resulted in 2 points for Chase Fisher.
And Chase Fisher did a great job of just keeping his head up, knowing where the ball was. And when the ball was mishandled and all the defense went to that loose ball, he cut to the basket.
And he gets an easy 2 on the other side, and now a reach-in foul be whistled against Caleros as he tried to take it away from Kreitz. For Caleros, that'll be his first personal foul. First sub of the ball game comes with 4:22 to go in the first, as Alexis Valenzuela, the 6'3 junior, averaging 4 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists a game, comes in for the St. John Tigers. He went for 10 points last night in the semifinal win against Pratt Skyline. Michael Ryan, dribble handoff, goes out to Kreitz. Warnkin open for 3, and he drills it. Jacob Warnkin, he had 4 in the first half last night. He has his first here this evening. Central Plains on top by 1, 9-8, halfway through our opening period. Kinnaman serves it over right side. Valenzuela tosses it up between the rings, gets it back now from Smith. Here's Kinnaman working against Warnkin, spinning in the lane, pull-up jumper, no good, but a foul on the floor will be the second team foul against the Oilers, and that'll go against Jacob Warnkin, his first.
Goals, congratulations going out to the Kinsley girls. They win at 46-44, first time in about 15 years they'll make it to the state tournament.
All right, Lady Coyotes advancing. So we'll try to run through some of those girls' scores as they go final from earlier here tonight. Central Plains girls, no problems against South Central, winning 60-28. Crossover dribble by Kinnaman. Jump pass goes out to Smith. Stops middle lane. Pushes it back out now to Valenzuela. Plays it to Kinnaman. Kinnaman one-on-one against Warnkin again. Spinning in the lane. Loop pass down low. Fisher layup spits out of there, no good. Offensive rebound. Putback will not fall, but a foul will be called on the second chance for Chase Fisher. And a big cog in this offense here for St. John.
He's looking at that. He's kind of finding that open space. The defense collapsing as the play went into the paint. The defense comes to the ball, and Fisher just kind of lingering down there along the low block.
He goes back to the stripe. This one tosses out, no good for Chase Fisher. He is 1 of 2 at the free throw, 1 of 3 at the free throw line so far here tonight. That last foul whistled against Jacob Warnkin, so he picks up his second. He'll check out of the ball game, and coming in and now for the Oilers, Alex Barton is into the game along with Brady Rugen. Second free throw also missing for Fisher. He's missed his last 3. A 1-point lead for Central Plains with the ball, 3:26 to go in our first quarter. Substate Championship game in St. John. So the Tigers playing Central Plains for the 4th time this year. Devin Ryan, the freshman, bounce pass right side, goes out to his brother now Michael, directing traffic. Devin pops back up for a 3-point shot, can't find him, goes opposite direction now to Kreitz. Kreitz, one dribble, plays it over to Ryan. Here's Michael, guarded by Kinnaman. Down low, good look. Rugen got tied up and blocked, and the rebound is there for Milton. St. John attacking the other way. Caleros, a quick look over at head coach Clint Kinnaman in his 15th season with St. John, and the Tigers 3-time defending state champions, 1 in 1A Division I, the last 2 in Class 2A. Caleros on the move, takes it down the free throw line. Nice pass down low, and Fisher gets an easy 2. Well, Caleros was about ready to pull up, and he found a Fisher wide open down low. He has 5 points. Back up on top by 1. Go the Tigers, 10-9. 2.5 to go in the first quarter. Kreitz serves it over left side. Ryan three-pointer left it strong. Caleros running on the rebound. Now slows it up as he approaches half court. Fisher sizing up his defender, driving on Rugen, takes him down the baseline, forces one up. He was looking for the contact, nothing called, gets it back, knocks over Rugen, and there'll be a blocking foul whistled against Brady Rugen.
Well, it was pretty obvious that the play there was for Chase Fisher to take the ball to the basket. He did everything he could and finally got a foul called against the Oilers, and it'll be an inbound underneath.
They're going to go against Alex Barton, so it must have been a reach-in before that. So Barton picks up his first personal foul. Alex, a talented sophomore, averaging 7 points, 4 rebounds a game for the Central Plains Oilers, and head coach Brett Rawls, who continues the pace up and down the sideline here in St. John. Down low, layup missing for Tristan Long. Rebound topped out of bounds, back over to Central Plains. So Tristan Long into the game, the 6'4 junior for the Tigers.
That's very typical of Coach Kinnaman. He'll send a guy who's fresh off the bench, then run a play for him, just like they did there, trying to get him involved in the game as soon as he touches the floor.
Yeah, he got an early touch here for the Tigers. Well said. 10-9 lead here for St. John on their home floor. Trying to get to the Class 2A state tournaments, and a reach-in foul whistled against an animated Kinnaman as Cole Kinnaman, the junior, picks up his first. Trying to go around Rugen, which is a tough task to do. A wide body for Central Plains, and he picks up his first. Milton comes back in the ball game as Fisher gets a rest. Underneath here for Michael Ryan, leading the team in scoring, goes to Barton, forces one up and bailed out with the whistle. He'll go to the foul line as Valenzuela has his hands straight up still, saying he didn't commit the foul, but instead it will go against Alexis Valenzuela, his first and the team's fourth.
Barton did seem to maybe lose the handle on that on the way up, but there was a lot of contact, I think, with the body that helped him lose control of that basketball.
Barton goes to the line, a 73% free throw shooter, misfiring on the first one. So a 10-9 advantage for St. John. 0-3 against Central Plains this year, losing by 7 in the first one, 13 in the second game, and by 1 in Claflin back on February 5th. 0-2 for Alex Barton. Rebound snagged by St. John.
Both teams struggling from the free throw lines here in the first half.
Yeah, that was the first attempts, but both of them misses for Alex Barton. Kinnaman lines up a three-pointer, can't find the range, and it'll be Devin Ryan, the freshman, pulling down the rebound for Central Plains. Kreitz brings it up to the elbow, back out to Devin, three-pointer on his way, and he cans it. Devin Ryan, the leading three-point shooter for Central Plains, connects on his first and puts Central Plains on top by 2 at 12-10, 1:25 to go in the first.
I think they gave a delay of warning to, or delay of game warning to Central Plains as Braden Kreitz was, I think, touched the basketball after the shot went through, and so a delay of game warning for Central Plains.
So they get the warning here on the first one. A technical foul whistled on the second one. 1:25 remaining in our first quarter. Central Plains, thanks to that three-point shot by the freshman, on top by 2 at 12-10. Oilers 22-0 on the season, coming off a 30-point win against Ellenwood last night in the semifinals. Here's Caleros driving against Kreitz. Into the lane he goes. Tough shot, banks it in off the glass.
Wow, he ducked under the defense and then went up with his right hand as he was leaning towards his left and put it up over the lip off the glass.
Caleros, that's his first 2 here tonight, ties it up at 12. Kreitz has at the free throw line. Nice pass down low. Michael Ryan has his shot blocked by Kinnaman, and he sends it out of bounds. Kinnaman thought it was last touched by Ryan, but he'll stay with the Oilers. Kinnaman, you talk about leading a team. He leads the team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, three-pointers, and free throws made so far this year.
That's a pretty good guy to have on your squad.
It's not bad for the junior, as he'll be back next year as well for the Tigers. Michael Ryan has on the baseline, goes out to Kreitz. Not much of a three-point shooter, has only made 3 on the season. Passes into the corner, gets it back on the wing. Final 40 seconds of the first quarter has been a good one so far tonight in St. John. Here's Alex Barton, puts on the floor against Caleros. Chest pass, goes out to Kreitz, leaves it off to the free throw line, now to Rugen. Bounces it back out to the wing. Central Plains being patient here, maybe looking for the last shot of the quarter. Instead, Barton drives, stuck on the baseline. It zips it back out to Michael Ryan, puts a 1 in the air, and now waits for his offense to set up. Final 10 seconds here in the first quarter. Ryan slowly walking over to the right side. Bounce pass goes over to his brother, gets it back, 5 seconds. Tie ball game here in St. John. Ryan needs to go to work, tough pull-up jumper, left it short. Final second, ball loose, and that'll do it. You're expecting a good game in St. John this Saturday night between the Tigers and Oilers. It lived up to the bill here in the first quarter. It's St. John 12, Central Plains 12. Back in 1 minute on B104.3, The Point.
Coverage of the 2A Substate Championship games is brought to you by SJN Bank of Kansas, Tyree Ag, and BTI. Every day, area producers rely on the employees and services at Tyree Ag. We understand that the timing of agricultural inputs is essential, and that's why we strive to provide timely and efficient services and proven reliable products you can count on. Tyree Ag offers quality aerial and ground application, precision ag services, fertilizer, seed, and a broad selection of crop protection and biostimulant products. Contact us today or visit us online. Tyree Ag, to make your job easier.
Tonight's game brought to you by Central Plains High School, Rugen Family Farms, Kylie and Melinda Castleman, and Great Plains Agency. Getting started in the second quarter at St. John High School, the St. John Tigers taking on Central Plains in the Substate Championship game in Class 2A. Central Plains starting out with the ball here in the second frame, tied up at 12. Alex Barton starting the second quarter. Passes left side. Here's Michael Ryan. Horizontal dribble, now angling in. Leaves out to Barton. He is hammered on his way to the hole. He will go back to the free throw line where he missed his last two.
I think they're going to get Jacob Milton with the foul, and they basically could take their choice between Milton and Quincy Smith. I think Coach Kinnaman probably would have preferred that go on Smith because that's a second on his big senior.
And quickly, Valenzuela goes to the scorers table here for St. John. Barton continues to struggle early on here tonight as this one goes in and out for the sophomore. Now 0 for 3 at the stripe. 7:42 to go second quarter, tied up at 12 here tonight as the Oilers 22-0 on the season. St. John at 18-3. Similar numbers across the board as Barton goes 1 of 2 for his first free throw. He had first point here tonight. St. John, they average 64 points a game. Central Plains, they average 64. The difference, defense. The Oilers only giving up 35 points a game this year. St. John 46. Caleros takes his defender down low and drags the pivot foot, a traveling violation against St. John. Their third turnover here tonight.
Michael Ryan did a nice job as Caleros turned the corner over on the left side. He stepped right into his path, forced him to shuffle his feet.
Central Plains, they've only had 3 games decided by 14 points or less this year, all 3 against St. John. Turnaround jump shot gets wet for Braden Kreitz as he drains his first shot here tonight. Central Plains on top by 3, 15-12 as we played a minute here in the second quarter. Tough shot by Kreitz.
Beautiful turnaround jumper, great for him as he kind of fell away with it.
Kinnaman guides it over left side and ties it up with a three-pointer. Cole Kinnaman, his 37th three of the season, his first bucket here this evening, 15-15. Just under 7 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Devin Ryan, the freshman, running the points now as he passes it to the wing to his brother, Michael. Short pass goes out to Rugen on the three-point line. Nice pass down low. Barton kisses it in off the glass. Good look from Brady Rugen as Alex Barton gets the field goal. 17-15, Central Plains on top by a pair as Smith pushes the offense right side now for the St. John Tigers on their home floor, but in their road blue jerseys as the 2 seed on the bottom side of the bracket. Kinnaman takes it right through the heart of the defense and lays it in to tie it up at 17.
Well, you think these guys don't know how important this game is on both sides. You know, you've got Kreitz, a senior, you got Kinnaman, a junior, both of them trying to lead their teams back to the state tournament.
Rugen doesn't take the long 2, instead puts on the 4, puts up a running shot, no good. Fight for the rebound, loose in the corner, knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Central Plains as St. John will get it back as bodies hit the floor as St. John High School slow to get up is, I believe, Fisher. And Fisher slowly getting up, now jogging the other way, and Michael Ryan trying to get an explanation. And Gary kind of touched on it early on the broadcast. You talk about 2 teams that respect for each other, yes. Do they like each other? Probably not. As St. John has had Central Plains' number the past 3 years, but this year it's been different, but this is the one that matters here in the Substate Championship game. Caleros tosses to the left side. Kinnaman's had the hot hand on the last 2 possessions. Into the lane, floater off the glass, strong, no good. Rebound, flipped out of bounds. Last touch by the Tigers, back over to Central Plains.
That time maybe Cole Kinnaman trying to do just a little too much, got into the land of the Giants and had to elevate a little more than maybe he wanted to try to get that shot off.
Saw his brother Cade Kinnaman here in the gym, and he was shooting around with Zuriel Reyes earlier this afternoon. You talk about a good outside shooter. Reyes was one of the best and kind of an unorthodox shooter as well. He could just step back threes, you name it. Right side for Braden Kreitz, goes out to Michael Ryan, driving along the left side of the lane. Picks up his dribble, Smith all over him. Closing on 5 minutes to go, second quarter, tied up here between Central Plains and St. John. Ryan takes Caleros down the baseline, loops it back up top to his brother. 17-footer on his way, well short. Alex Barton scrapes out the rebound and lays it in on the putback.
Martin with the rebound and the putback. Those second chance points are huge.
All 5 of his points coming in the second quarter. Nearly had a steal. Valenzuela back out to Claris, lets it rip, three-pointer off the mark, and Rugen lets the rebound go out of bounds over to the Oilers. 4:43 to go second quarter. Central Plains on top by 2 at 19-17. St. John Tigers won 4 games in a row, then ran into Central Plains, won 6 in a row, ran into Central Plains, won 1 game, were defeated by Central Plains again. And since that loss on February 5th, they have won 8 straight games coming into the nights, including a romping of Pratt Skyline last night in the semifinals, 73-44. Kreitz sends it down in the corner, gets it back. 4:22 to go second quarter. 2-point advantage for the Oilers. Ryan leaves it off to his brother, down low to Barton. Good position on Caleres. Goes up and has it blocked at the rim. Caleres skying up and getting a piece of that one. And St. John takes it the other way, down by 2. Caleres now looking to work on the offensive end, had it stripped away. Alex Barton and the Oilers, 3-on-2. Michael Ryan, left side, off balance layup, falls in. How he got that one to fall, he was bumped in the air, but Ryan sticks it.
Wow, that ball got stuck on his left hip somehow, kind of behind him, able to get it back and scoop it up and in.
Largest lead of the ball game now for Central Plains have 4, and a traveling violation will be whistled against the sophomore Quincy Smith. Said he got hit on the back of the head, does not get it called, and a timeout taken by Clint Kinnaman. Comes with 3:39 to go in our second quarter. Central Plains 21, St. John 17. Back in 30 seconds on B104.3, The Point.
The weather just seemed a little bit unusual.
The sound was just
You
deafening.
can hear and feel things just breaking up.
School was
above
gone,
you.
my church was gone, my town was gone. What are we going to do?
We could rebuild it. We could start over and rebuild a whole community. Let's rebuild the town. Let's work together. Let's try to do it right.
The spirit of the community, we will rebuild.
Maybe we do have to do it different.
To be able to make a difference that can be felt for generations, it's very exciting.
Come and experience the story in Greensburg.
Back at St. John High School, Central Plains on top of the Tigers on the boys Substate Championship game, 21-17. Some other finals coming in here on this championship Saturday.
Well, Hoxie's win streak got shut off this year. They're still going back to state. They win it over Victoria 68-50, and Buhler defeats, McPherson defeats Buhler out in 4A out in Ulysses for the championship of Substate.
Here in St. John, 3:30 to go in our second quarter. Central Plains on top by 4 with the ball, looking for more. Kreitz down low, and he draws a whistle from Chris Sundahl along the baseline as he comes over to make the call, as he'll be whistled against Chase Fisher. That'll be his first personal foul, and Braden Kreitz, a 78% free throw shooter, goes to the line with his team on top by 4.
Does this Central Plains team just kind of look like a team on a mission here?
I would agree with that. They look like a team that's been ticked off.
Yeah.
Way too many times.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to have to bring Michael Ryan over, maybe some blood, a little bit of blood on his uniform. You're trying to find out the source of it.
Yeah, I don't know.
His or somebody else's.
Yeah, it looks like it might be somebody else's, and it looks like it might be Fisher's as he goes over the bench. But still cleaning up some players here tonight in St. John. 3:21 to go in the second quarter. Central Plains on top, 21-17. Talk about the atmosphere here tonight. 2 fan bases that travel extremely well. It helps when you win a lot. Central Plains has done it. St. John has done it. But you talk about a great atmosphere here tonight. It is packed in St. John.
Always a great place to watch a ball game. Coach Kinnaman really upset at one of the officials. Not sure what about.
I think they found Caleros. He used the guilty party on the blood. So Caleros goes over to the bench here for St. John, and Kinnaman cleans them up. 3:21 to go in our second quarter. Central Plains leading by 4, 21-17. You've seen St. John boys twice this year. Larned played then, and actually outside of Central Plains, Larned's the only team that's actually played them close. It was an 8-point game. I think it's 58-50. How has St. John adjusted without Dean Wade here this year?
Well, I don't know that they really changed their philosophy, but it's taken, I think, some adjustment from the players. You look at a guy, that's kind of what I was talking about with Chase Fisher. Chase looked outstanding in the state championship game last year, but that's kind of easy to do when you got Dean Wade on the other side. Your mistakes aren't magnified. He makes up for a lot of that. I think Chase has been a little more tentative this year coming into, I watched that championship game of the St. John Lions Club Midwinter Classic here, and I felt that he was just a little bit tentative, just didn't seem to be quite the same player, just trying to fit in, figure his game out without somebody like Dean on the floor. And but as far as, it just boils down to Clint Kinnaman just wants his guys to play hard, play good defense. And I think his teams probably execute what they do as well as anybody I've seen.
I would definitely agree with that. Their press is really good. Their defense has been good again this year as well. As Kreitz knocks down both free throws as we sort out the mess of the bloody jersey here in St. John. Michael Ryan had to come to the bench. Brett Rolf's not happy. Caleros had to go to the bench for St. John. Kinnaman not happy. And now an offensive foul is going to go against Jacob Milton. That's 3 on the big guy, as he knocked over an Oiler for position down low. Picks up his 3rd personal foul with 3:11 to go in our second quarter. He's probably done for the first half, and his team down by 6, 23-17.
Coach Kinnaman pleading with the official, and the official says, I had to call. I saw it. I'm not making it up.
Yeah.
It was what it was.
Kinnaman's pleas falling on deaf ears of Chris Sundahl along that baseline here tonight. 3:07 to go in our second quarter. Central Plains with their largest lead of 6. Kreitz far corner, pass down low to Michael Ryan. It'll be a reach-in foul on Caleros. So the foul's starting to add up here against St. John. That is the 8th team foul, 1-1 coming up for Michael Ryan, who shoots 76% from the line.
That's scoring drought for St. John as well. You probably have it the last time they scored. It's been a while.
Yeah, it was tied up at 17.
Wow.
6 straight points for Central Plains here in the last 2.5 minutes, we'll say, as Ryan connects on the front end.
Team fouls, Tigers with 8, Oilers with just 4, here with 3 minutes to play in the second.
Second free throw left short by Ryan, tipped out of bounds by Barton as St. John will get the ball back with 2:58 to go in our second quarter. That lead continues to grow, a 7-0 run for Central Plains on top, 24-17. Caleros picked up his 2nd personal foul, still on the floor. Kinnaman into the lane, tough shot rolls out, but a foul will send Kinnaman to the free throw line. Trying to get his team back into this one. What do? Drive. You lower your head, you get to the lane, draw a foul. That's what Kinnaman does. Great play by the junior.
And that's probably where the lobbying of the official earlier got that call for St. John instead of having it go against them, because they had about 3 straight calls go against them by the same official.
2:49 to go in the second quarter. Kinnaman puts an end to the 7-0 run by Central Plains as he cans the first free throw. Second one on his way. Good rotation. Same result. 7 points now for Cole Kinnaman. He leads the way for St. John. They trail by 5. 2:45 to go until halftime here at St. John High School. Central Plains 2-0 against the Tigers here on St. John's home court. Bounce pass goes out to the freshman. Devin Ryan sends it over left wing now for Kreitz. Coming off a Ryan screen, takes it to the elbow, down low to Rugen. 2 power dribbles back out to Michael Ryan. He takes a glance at the defense, man-to-man here for St. John. Here's Devin circling around his defender. Into the lane he goes. Kicks to the corner. Rugen jabbing at his defender. Fisher doesn't bite. Back out to Michael Ryan. Patient offensive set once again for the Central Plains Oilers. Barton has it on a backdoor cut along the baseline. Long pivot foot, no call, and misses the shot inside the lane. And now we'll get a timeout taken by St. John. Comes with 2:05 to go in our second quarter. Central Plains leading St. John 24-19. Here the Substate Championship game earlier tonight. The Lady Oilers, they were victorious against South Central, winning that ball game 60-28. So one of the teams from Claflin already advancing to the Class 2A state tournaments. And will it be a second? We'll find out here later on tonight. But right now, Central Plains on top 24-19.
Told you earlier, the Sterling girls qualified with a 30-point win over Lakin. At halftime, it's Sterling 27, Scott City 25. So not quite as easy a route for the Sterling boys as they try to make it to the state tournament in Class 3A.
Tonight's game brought to you by Great Plains Agency, Quivira Federal Bank, Schreiber Angus, Best Horn Oil and Gas, and Pistol Pete's Nuts and Bolts. 2:05 to go, second quarter. St. John with the ball down by 5 on their home court against Central Plains. Valenzuela back in the game after Milton picked up his third personal foul. Bad pass to the wing, stolen away by Ryan. 4 turnovers on St. John. Kreitz takes it across the lane, passes it back out in between the circles now for Michael Ryan. Over the head pass, goes to the elbow. Barton spins, hands it back out to Ryan. Looking to move with the dribble. Backs down on Kinnaman and travels with it. And it'll be a turnover on Central Plains.
Well, the steal down here by Michael Ryan. He had his back to Quincy Smith and saw just over his right shoulder that pass was coming his way, stuck his hand out there and had the soft hands, and it just stuck like he was wearing a glove.
But he turns it right back over to St. John on the other end. Now Kinnaman looking to go to work. Gets in the lane, puts off the glass. Is too strong. Rebound cleared out by Rugen in traffic. Here comes Braden Kreitz attacking through the lane. Backdoor cut by Ryan. Pass deflected out of bounds. And it'll stay with Central Plains as Quincy Smith touches it last.
Smith trying to make up for his turnover on this end. One of the last trip down. Tried to his best to get the turnover, but couldn't get a handle on it.
And Kinnaman nearly came up with a steal, but had a foot on the baseline. So Michael Ryan saying he's stretching over that inline right now. But he's not going to get the call as Kinnaman continues to smother Michael Ryan, the inbounds passer. Slaps the ball, looking to throw it again. Goes to Barton now at the free throw line. Shovels it off to Braden Kreitz. Mentioned before, not a good outside shooter. Throws one up and misfires. Is on target, but strong for Braden Kreitz. Rebound cleared out by St. John.
Coach Ross just kind of shrugging his shoulders and looking at disgust at that shot attempt.
Yeah, Fisher loses it on the other end. Kreitz just 3 of 15 from outside on the season. Final 55 seconds here of the half. Central Plains with the ball on top 24-19. Braden Kreitz now dribbles once to the right, quickly looks over at head coach Brett Rolfs. Oilers coming off a 30-point win last night in the semifinals, 22-0. The top team in Class 2A. St. John number 4 in Class 2A.
Looks like Central Plains going to play for one shot here if they can with half a minute.
Yeah, defensive game and a tight one here in the first half. Both teams averaging 64 a contest, well below their halfway mark at 24-19 respectively for Central Plains and St. John. Running the weave right now for the Oilers. Michael Ryan has it in the middle circle here at St. John High School. Central fans on their feet just to the left and to the right of us with the student section. 5 seconds, need to go to work. Devin Ryan floats the 3 up strong. Michael with the rebound, put back off the glass, no good. And the buzzer sounds in St. John. It was a doozy in the first 16 minutes. 2 of the top teams in Class 2A doing battle at St. John High School on a Saturday night, and just for a right to go to the state tournaments in Manhattan next week. After 2 quarters, Central Plains on top by 5, 24-19. We'll be back in 2 minutes on B104.3 The Point.
Coverage of the 2A Substate Championship games is brought to you by S&J Bank of Kansas, Tyree Ag, and BTI.
You pick up the pieces and throw them away, and then you make plans to start over.
Oh my, so much has changed as a result of it. You know, I think it built bonds between people. It just strengthened relationships. I know it strengthened my faith. You know, if God could take us through that situation and bring us out on the other side of it and have things be better than it was before, you know, how could I not trust Him with anything else that I have to be concerned about?
I think that we are doing very well as a community, but I think that it takes its toll that I don't know that you'll ever quite get over.
What matters is we keep working together and being neighbors to each other and being community as we continue a growth process.
We're determined and committed to rebuilding this town. It won't be easy, but I know that we'll be an adventure worthy of our investment.
We're not working to build this for something that we may enjoy. It's like the trees we've planted in the yard. We may never live to enjoy the shade of those, but we plant them for the future, for our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren that will hopefully carry on the life and the vision and the wonderful family-oriented community that this is.
Eventually, it would be tied up at 12s at the end of the first quarter. The game would again be tied at 15s and 17s, but that's when Central Plains would go on a 7-0 run with 3:39 to go in the second quarter. Had their largest lead at 24-17, but 2 free throws by St. John cutting into that 7-point lead and knocking it down to 5 here at halftime, 24-19. So buckets, as you kind of maybe have expected, are going to be hard to come by here tonight against two teams that are really locking in here this evening.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and there's no such thing as an easy shot in this game. Inside, outside, everything contested. And like I said, the familiarity that these two teams have with each other, they know what their strengths and weaknesses are. And you know, it's just a matter of who can kind of impose their will on the other team here in the most important game of the season. So far, it's been Central Plains, and you know, a few calls going against St. John in that first half. And you know, sometimes those things sort of even out. And a lot of times you see when a team has a lopsided fouls in the first half, sometimes that seems to reverse itself in the second half. So we'll see what how that happens. But you know, this game far from over.
Yeah, Jacob Milton, he got tagged for his third personal foul towards the end of the second quarter. A big call going against St. John. So Milton has 3. Jorge Caleras has 2. For Central Plains, Jacob Warnken, he has 2 fouls, and Alex Barton has 2 fouls. Those are the only 2 foul issues for Central Plains, if you will, at the end of the first half, with the Oilers on top by 5, 24-19. When we come back, we'll hit up the individual numbers of the first half. Again, the Oilers leading by 5 of the Substate Championship game. More from St. John in 1 minute on B104.3 The Point. Cole Rife and Gary Wagner with you on a Saturday night in St. John. Lady Oilers winning earlier in the Substate Championship game against South Central 60-28 at halftime. Central Plains boys on top of St. John 24-19. 19. Let's go through the individual scoring of the half. Braden Kreitz, he had 4 points for the Oilers, 3 points for Devin Ryan, 3 for Jacob Warnkin, 2 points for Brady Rugen, 5 for Michael Ryan, and 5 coming off the bench for Alex Barton. So leading scorers for the Oilers at 5 points in Ryan and also Barton. St. John 18-3 on the season for head coach Clint Kinnaman here on his home court. 2 points for Quincy Smith. Cole Kinnaman with 7 points, 2 for Jorge Caleros, and also 5 points for Chase Fisher and 3 for Jacob Milton, draining a rare three-pointer for the 6'3 senior, but he got into some foul trouble at the end of the second quarter as he picked up his 3rd personal foul. We'll take one final break of our halftime show, back with the team numbers in the 3rd quarter. Central Plains leading St. John 24-19. It's Oilers Substate basketball on B104.3 The Point. (24-19) is what the scoreboard says here at St. John High School in favor of Central Plains in the Substate Championship game as we get set for the 3rd quarter here tonight between the Tigers and the Oilers. St. John, 3-time defending state champion, the last 2 in Class 2A, the one before that in 1A Division I. Clint Kinnaman, he has brought 4 state championships to St. John, another one in 2007. Before Kinnaman got here, St. John has won 2 in 1974 and 1982. So St. John, they have won 6 state championships. Central Plains just in their 5th year of the collaboration, still looking for their first state title. They were close last year, but who did they run into? The St. John Tigers in Manhattan in the state championship game, losing that ball game 49-44. They beat some pretty good teams on their way pretty convincingly too for Central Plains. Knocked off Jackson Heights in the first round and defeated Olpe in the semifinals before falling it to the Tigers. Now the teams play here in the Substate Championship game. Early on the broadcast, you said that Keisha did a good job splitting them up so they could play in the state tournament. You saying they kind of lost the wisdom this year when they put them in the same sub-state?
Well, you know, I understand why they do. I understand why they didn't last year. You know, if they could do it one year, why not every year?
The Quincy Smith fires a 3 to start out the 3rd quarter, misses. Kinnaman has the rebound, and he is knocked to the floor. It'll be a whistle going against Central Plains as Michael Ryan is tagged for a personal foul. So that'll be a quick team foul going against Central Plains. And Gary mentioned the fact that sometimes foul situations tend to reverse themselves in the second half. Milton playing with 3 fouls, goes through the lane. He's hammered by Rugen, and 2 shots coming up for Milton as he had a nice cut and a good find by St. John to the rim.
First 15 seconds of the 3rd quarter, 2 fouls already on Central Plains.
So Brady Rugen, just his first personal foul, but like Gary said, 2 quick fouls going against Central Plains in the first 15 seconds. Free throw up and good for Jacob Milton. Drilled that 3-pointer in the first quarter. Picked up his 3rd personal foul towards the end of the second, though, so didn't get to play as much as he wanted. A 53% free throw shooter. Toss up the second one, and it spins out as Kreitz collects the rebound for Central Plains. Just getting started in the second half. Central Plains on top by 4 at 24-20. Devin Ryan sends it down in the corner. Kreitz plays it out to the free throw now to Rugen. Gets it back. Here's Michael Ryan spinning on the baseline against Caleros, playing with 2 fouls. Devin has it out on the right threshold, brings it back out near midcourt, swinging around. Michael puts it on the floor against Caleros. Loop pass goes in the corner now for Kreitz. Skips it over to Devin. Coming off a Michael screen. Floater on his way. Well short. Rebound tipped around. Collected in the corner by Kinnaman. St. John attacking on the other end. Kinnaman now slows it up. Milton puts it on the floor, but he travels with it first. as it'll be a turnover going against the Tigers. That'll be number 7.
Couple of score updates. Hugoton's girls going back to try to defend their state title. They win it over Holcomb 62-28 at halftime. It's Holcomb's boys over Hugoton 26-22. I bet that gym's rocking and rolling too.
I would imagine so. A lot of good venues to be at here this Saturday night. St. John, one of them. Kreitz has it between the rings, tosses left side. Ryan spins, try to rifle one through to Rugen, and it goes through his hands and out of bounds.
One more score update. Sterling leads Scott City 33-32. About 3 minutes to play in the third quarter of that one.
6:50 to go here in the third quarter in St. John. Tigers with the ball and another chance to creep up a little bit closer against Central Plains, down by 4. Kinnaman with the left hand, down the side of the lane, puts up a layup and it rolls in. Nearly popped out for Cole Kinnaman, but falls down for the junior. He has 9. It's a 2-point game. 24-22, we played 90 seconds here in the third frame. Kreitz terminates the dribble, bounce pass left side. Here's Devin Ryan. He's all over by Quincy Smith. Back out to Jacob Warnkin. He picked up 2 quick fouls in the first quarter, didn't play much in the second. Hands it off to Michael Ryan. Takes a step back near midcourt, passes to his brother. Devin, bounce pass, goes to the top of the arc now for Rugen. Chest pass, here's Warnkin driving through the lane. He goes, layup rolls off. Milton collects the rebound. Here comes St. John, a chance to take the lead with a 3. Fisher down the lane, scooping, layup tied up at 24s. Chase Fisher knocks it in as he goes coast to coast. He has 7 points, and it's a 5-0 run to start out the third quarter for St. John, tying this one up at 24s. 5:45 to go in the third period. Warnkin sizing up Kinnaman, down to the corner. Rugen, bounce pass to Kreitz, backing down on Fisher. Nice spin move, can't finish off the layup, and a fight for the rebound, saved by Kinnaman. Here's Caleros. St. John fans get to their feet a little bit here as they have some reason to cheer. Caleros kind of navigating his way through the lane, passes back out to Kinnaman, and they'll hit the restart button on the offense with 5:20 to go in our third quarter. Milton looking for his second. You betcha! Jacob Milton with his second 3 of the game. The big guy drills a deep one, and now an official timeout with 5:13 to go. And I believe we're going to get a warning going against St. John. We saw it against Central Plains in the first half, and like Gary said, a delay of game against St. John on the warning. Kinnaman not happy. 27-24. Coming out of the chute here in the third quarter. St. John putting up a 7 spot. Actually an 8 spot now with their 3-point advantage. Here's Michael Ryan trying to answer with a 3. This one skims off. Milton with a big boy rebound. Passes it back out to Kinnaman. Just under 5 minutes remaining here in our third stanza. 27-24, St. John on top by a tray. Kinnaman, good crossover dribble, into lane he goes. Layup falls in. Wow. St. John continues to roll here in the third quarter as they have 11 points. Brett Rolfs not electing to take a timeout yet, allowing his boys to settle in. Kreitz dribbles it up to the free throw line. Nice backdoor cut, and Michael Ryan banks one in, and now a timeout will be taken by Brett Rolfs. 4:30 to go in our third quarter. St. John coming out hot here in the third period as they lead 29-26, and a timeout on the floor. We'll be back in 30 seconds on B104.3 The Point.
Coverage of the 2A Substate Championship games is brought to you by S&J Bank of Kansas, Tyree Ag, and BTI.
The roof nearly blew off here in St. John as the Tigers come out in the third quarter on an 8-0 run. And they lead it now with the ball, but a big bucket by Michael Ryan before the timeout to get Central Plains back to within 3. Tigers driving. Valenzuela back into the game. Alexis Valenzuela, the junior, averaging 4 points a game. Caleros, horizontal dribble, takes it over to Valenzuela, picks up a Milton screen. Bounce pass down low to Fisher. Faces the basket, runs into an Oiler player, and is tied up. Possession arrow goes the other way.
Boy, that's a big call in the favor of the Oilers as the reach in there, and the official says he had his hand on top of the basketball and tied up Chase Fisher. And the possession arrow gives it back to Central Plains.
Crammed in like sardines here in St. John this Saturday night for a must-see ball game between Central Plains and St. John Substate Championship contest. Michael Ryan takes it down the free throw line, draws a foul as he goes into the arms of Kinnaman, initiating the contact, and Michael Ryan will go to the free throw line and a chance to pull his team within one as Kinnaman will pick up his second personal.
A little warm in here. How you liking those long sleeves?
I'm not digging it right now. Bad choice on my part. That it is heated here at St. John High School. This one well short for Michael Ryan. Central Plains only 3 games decided by 14 points or less this year, all to St. John, as Ryan, typically deadly from the free throw line, misses 2. Lead stands at 3 for the Tigers on their home court this Saturday. 3.5 to go, third quarter. Crossover dribble by Kinnaman. Glides into the lane, out to Valenzuela. Milton, step back jumper on the baseline, spits out. Michael Ryan skies in and grabs the rebound. And it'll be a blocking foul on Chase Fisher as he bumped into Michael Ryan going for the board.
He got a little help by Alex Barton, but the official is going to see the blue jersey crashing into the white one, and it was Barton that was kind of just moving Fisher along towards the rebounder, and he got called for the foul.
Warnkin dribbling up the offense here for Central Plains, averaging 64 points per game. Stops at the free throw line. Chest pass goes back out to Michael Ryan. Throws it to his brother. Devin quickly looks over at Brett Rawls and now hits the restart button on the offense with 3:06 to go in our third quarter. 3-point advantage for St. John after trailing by 5 at halftime. Kreitz zips it right wing. Good look down low to Warnkin into Milton. Hand straight up. Blocked by Fisher. Good job by Fisher coming over on the help defense. St. John tacking on the other end, on top by 3.
It ended up being a triple team down in the low block.
Yeah, I never really realized it until he turned around into that swarm of blue jerseys for St. John here tonight. Calero spinning in the lane. Central Plains fans wanted a walk. No good on the shot, but he gets his own miss. Fresh life for the Tigers, on top by 3. Pass goes out to Valenzuela, rolls off to the left of the Milton screen, throws it out into the hands of Kinnaman. Pump fakes on a long 3, now driving, step back 3 on his way for Kinnaman, heels off, and Devin Ryan, a good block out against a much taller Valenzuela. Will get an over the back call against Valenzuela, his second.
Yeah, that wasn't a good foul by Chino. He just did not have position. That was an easy call for the official to make.
St. John started out the third quarter on a 10-0 run. A bucket by Michael Ryan about a minute ago stopped that run for the Tigers. They still lead by 3, but settle in defensively here as Kinnaman will pick up Michael Ryan at half court. Passes out to Devin. Valenzuela on him. Here's Warnkin. Sizes up Quincy Smith, takes him to the left, stops on the elbow, brings it back out now to Michael. Ryan goes to Devin, sets a screen for his brother, rolls off left side, terminates a dribble, into the far corner now for Kreitz, looking for Alex Barton posting up down low. Instead, opposite side to Michael Ryan, and he is pushed around in the middle of the lane. We'll see which Tiger this one will go against. It might be against Quincy Smith. That'll be the case. That'll be his first. And for the team of St. John, that'll be the 4th foul.
Well, so far team fouls, Tigers with 4 and the Oilers with 2, so that kind of continues the trend from the first quarter or first half.
And now we're going to get an illegal screen against Central Plains as Jacob Warnkin will be hit with his 3rd personal foul. A turnover going against Central Plains. 1:51 to go in our third quarter. 29-26, St. John Tigers on top. 0-3 against Central Plains this year. But they were close in Claflin back on February 5th. Lost by 1, 46-45. Milton thought about the 3, travels with it again.
Coach Kinnaman not happy with his big senior. A little slide of the pivot foot on the drive attempt.
Kind of a standstill offensively here. They had that big run for St. John, but both teams not getting close range shots to fall here in the last minute and a half. Devin Ryan angling through the lane. Bounce pass goes out in the corner. Barton continues to back down on Milton with the 3 fouls. Can't get the shot to fall. Warnkin had a block, but a late whistle coming over from the far sideline. Chris Sundahl making the call as that'll go against Tristan Long, and that'll be just his first. But 2 free throws coming up for Jacob Warnkin. He was the big hero in the first half last night. Hit 4 3-pointers in the first half. against Ellenwood. He has 3 so far here tonight. Free throw on his way. He got it.
The official on the baseline was showing hand on top of the ball for a block. The other official calls a foul. Those drive coaches crazy.
Yeah, Kinnaman's not the happiest guy to our left here tonight. As Warnken connects on both free throws. The 76% free throw shooter pulls Central Plains within 1. 29-28, final 80 seconds here in the third quarter. Kinnaman looking to go to work. Into the lane he goes. High lane out to Smith. Dribbles it back out to the wing. Stops on the elbow. Leaves it off on the baseline. Jumper gets good. Tristan Long, his first jumper of the game. As St. John back up on top by 3. 31-28, final 60 seconds.
That was really created by Smith on the drive as he drew 2 defenders.
Kinnaman on Michael Ryan. A pretty good matchup here tonight in this man-to-man defense for St. John. Pass goes to the right flank. Kreitz surveying the defense. Long on him. One dribble towards his left. Puts it in the hands of Alex Barton. Playing along the perimeter. Michael Ryan looking to go to work now with 38 seconds. Dribbles down the baseline. Stuck. Trapped by Kinnaman. Passes back out to Warnken. Warnken with a strong move. Layup no good. Barton pulls up and he is fouled. Alex Barton will go to the line as the fans erupt to the right of us here at St. John High School. All the Hunter Green on their feet as they cheer on Barton as he just manned his way through the Tiger defense.
4th foul on Jacob Milton. Comes with 29 seconds to play in the third quarter. Milton would go to the bench. And a chance to tie for Alex Barton at the free throw line on the 3-point play.
Barton struggled early at the free throw line, missing his first 3. He made his last one. He connects on this one. Tie ball game. 31-31, final 25 seconds here in the third period. Caleros looking over at Clint Kinnaman. Gets the directions, starts out left, now pulls it back out. Michael Ryan on him. 14 seconds to go, third quarter. Now taking right, slows it back up. Definitely looking for the final shot here in the period. Caleros, those long yo-yo dribbles, pulls up for the 3 and banks it in. 2 seconds to go. Kreitz at midcourt, pass deflected. That'll do it for the end of the third period. A banking 3-pointer by Caleros puts St. John on top by a triple. 34-31. We'll be back in 1 minute on B104.3, The Point.
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Coverage of the 2A Substate Championship games is brought to you by S&J Bank of Kansas, Tyree Ag, and BTI.
Agriculture today is such a dynamic market. Prices are moving, the input costs are fluctuating, equipment costs, all of these things add up. We're here to help those farmers for their success. That's really what an ag dealership today needs to do, is be on their best game all the time so that we can help our farmers achieve what they need. And if they want to pass that down to their children and their children's children, they've got to have a good partner behind them. That's BTI.
It's starting to tense up a little bit in St. John, Kansas this Saturday night. To the fourth quarter we go. Substate Championship game. Central Plains down by 3. Tigers with the ball in their home court. Kinnaman glides it over right side, running the weave right now for the St. John Tigers. Caleros, who banked in that 3, hands it off to Kinnaman, drives to the lane, out to Fisher, quickly into the hands of Caleros. Time was winding down. Caleros knew he was shooting all the way, banked it in with 2 seconds to go in that third quarter, putting St. John on top by 3. Kinnaman behind the back, takes Ryan into the lane, tough pull-up jumper sinks in. Cole Kinnaman, he has a baker's dozen here tonight, 36-31. Largest lead of the ball game now for St. John at 5. Central Plains, their largest lead has been 7. That came midway through the second quarter at 24-17. Ryan hands it off to his brother Devin. Nice pump fake, pulls up, 13-footer, falls short. Kreitz offensive rebound, spinning in the lane, shot good off the glass and a foul. Kreitz will go back to the stripe here for the Central Plains Oilers. Punch for punch here this Saturday evening, and the Oilers come right back with a bucket by Kreitz.
Nice put back there by Kreitz. He had Fisher on him. Fisher went for a little bit of a pump fake and was on the move. And as Kreitz put it in, Fisher fouled him. Chance for another chance for a three-point play here to cut the lead to 2.
7:05 to go in our fourth quarter. Two of the top two teams in Class 2A playing each other here this evening. KBCA poll, the latest one that came out at the end of the year. Central Plains undefeated, number 1. St. John with their 3 losses to Central Plains, the number 4 team in the state. They're 1-2 in the St. John Substate. Free throw no good for Kreitz. 36-33, lead stands at 3 for the St. John Tigers. Quincy Smith had the first bucket of the game, has not scored since. Passes it right side, gets it back from Kinnaman. 6:47 remaining fourth quarter. Till St. John kind of switching up their offensive philosophy as well with the lead now, as Cole Kinnaman will draw a foul against Michael Ryan. It'll go to the sideline for the Tigers.
Well, the Tigers need to win this because they have, next week they've probably got 3 days off scheduled in their school schedule because they are there all the time.
They have been there the last 4 years. These seniors, they don't know what it's like not to go to a state tournament. They have been there their previous 3 years, and they have won all 3. Now they're getting a battle in the Substate Championship game. Might be Cole Kinnaman time down the final 6 minutes as he drives around. Ryan now circles it back out. Pass deflected, loose, picked up by Quincy Smith. Deflects it back out to Kinnaman, and he saves it out near midcourt. Helter-skelter here on this possession for St. John. Caleros now takes his try at a drive. Gets it back on the wing from Valenzuela. Milton out of the game with those 4 fouls as he picked one up at the end of the third. Valenzuela, ball over his head, puts on the floor 3 times to midcourt. Pass deflected, saved by Kinnaman. Michael Ryan is just draped all over him right now. Good defense by the senior. Kinnaman drives in, leaves it off to Fisher at his knees, loses the ball, and Barton strips it out for Central Plains.
Not a good pass from Kinnaman into Fisher.
Here comes Kreitz down the teeth of the defense. Big shot, falls in, and a foul. Braden Kreitz back to the free throw line and a chance to tie this one up with 5:45 to go. The talented quarterback leading the surge on that offensive possession.
Timeout, Tigers.
Kinnaman will take a timeout, a full timeout. 5:45 remaining in our fourth quarter. St. John 36, Central Plains 35. Back in 30 seconds on B104.3, The Point.
The weather just seemed a little bit unusual.
The sound was just
You
deafening.
can hear and feel things just breaking up.
School was
above
gone,
you.
my church was gone, my town was gone. What are we going to do?
We could rebuild it. We could start over and rebuild a whole community. Let's rebuild the town. Let's work together. Let's try to do it right.
The spirit of the community, we will rebuild.
Maybe we do have to do it different.
To be able to make a difference that can be felt for generations, it's very exciting.
Come and experience the story in Greensburg.
Cropworks agent Jerry Nye, B&D Herefords, H&B Video and Communication, and the Rain State Bank. Cole Rife, Gary Wagner with you on a Saturday night in St. John. Not a seat to be spared here at the high school as the Tigers and Oilers going at it in the Substate Championship game. Central Plains trailing by 1, but Braden Kreitz goes to the free throw line for the Oilers. He's had a couple of very muscular plays down the lane here in the last 2 minutes as he has just willed his way to buckets. Missed the last free throw to finish off the three-point play, but connects on this one.
Tied at 36, 5:45 left.
Quincy Smith, the sophomore point guard, running the show right now. Man-to-man defense here for Central Plains. Jacob Milton back into the game with his 4 fouls. He's down low, Braden Kreitz on him. Smith sends it over right side. Caleros looks left, drives right, bounce pass off a knee of Kreitz and stolen away by Ryan. 5:22 to go in the fourth. Central Plains, after getting pushed around early on in the third quarter, a chance to get the lead back here with 5:14 to go in the game. Warnkin playing with his 3 fouls. Passes left side into the corner. Back out to Ryan. Lets a 3 fly, and it rolls in. Took 2 hops on the rim and drops in. For Michael Ryan, a big shot for the senior, their leading scorer. Central Plains on top by 3, 39-36. Oilers on an 8-0 run. Caleros goes in a lane, a foul on the floor. It'll be underneath for St. John, 15 foul on Central Plains.
What shooter's touch by Devin Ryan from straight on. The ball hit the front lip, hit the back iron, and it just fell dead right through the net.
Ryan, he's a pretty good shooter from outside, so he deserves some of those bounces at 42% on the season. Foul on Warnkin. That was his fourth. St. John with the ball down by 3 now, thanks to an 8-0 run by Central Plains. Kinnaman thought about the step-back jumper, instead goes out to Smith. Pump fakes on a 3. Here's Caleros driving along the wing to the free throw line. Leaves it off in the corner. Milton, who has got hit with a similar traveling violation earlier in the game, doesn't travel this time. Kinnaman, a deep three-pointer off the heel, and a long rebound collected in the corner by Michael Ryan. Tough shot for Kinnaman.
Yeah, that was a deep 3 ball as he tried to answer, get it all back in one, and couldn't do it.
Warnkin brings in the pass on the left side, lowers his head, into the lane he goes, draws some contact, nothing called, and the rebound is there for St. John. Caleros wants to run, and he is just leveled by Braden Kreitz. He didn't really, I don't think Caleros knew which direction he was going to go. Kreitz took a guess, and then when he realized he was going to bump in to Caleros, he just said, might as well get my money's worth, and he just lowered his shoulder and leveled over Caleros.
He took Caleros right off his feet. Out in the open floor, you're in where everybody's watching.
Just a second personal foul on Kreitz, the 16th foul, so 1 away from the bonus for St. John. Tigers down by 3 on their home court, closing in on the halfway mark of our fourth quarter. Caleros, crossover dribble, pull-up jumper on the baseline, rims off. Nice rebound by Kreitz through traffic of a couple of blue jerseys of St. John.
Coach Rolf's wanting an offensive foul, and I can see his point as Caleros led with the arm to clear some space for himself.
Ryan takes it down the free throw line, bounce pass down to Alex Barton, tough hook shot with the right hand, rebound tipped around, Kinnaman tips it over to Caleros as Milton falls down, slow to get up, but now jogging the other way as Caleros slows it up across half court. 3:35 remaining fourth quarter. Back and forth we go in St. John. Oilers with the slight edge right now of 3. Caleros, lob pass, goes to the wing. Kinnaman, who took that deep 3 in that spot last time on that Tiger logo, passes the baseline. Fisher, who was hampered with foul trouble early on in the first half into the game, passes it, gets it back on the elbow. Here's Quincy Smith, takes it to the free throw line, chest pass out to Kinnaman. Kinnaman calls for a screen, rolls off the Milton screen, passes back his way, and now a foul away from the ball will be whistled against Alex Barton. Yeah, well said, and now it'll be 1-1 coming up for Chase Fisher. Not a bad personal foul. I don't think it was on purpose, but Fisher, 1 of 4, has missed his last 3.
3-point ball game with 3:07 left. Fisher at the free throw line. You know, you get the feeling that it seems like St. John feels like they need a 3 here, down 3. There's a long way to go here, over 3 minutes.
Front end of 1-1, no good. Fight for the rebound. Fisher had it and taken away by Warnkin, and the Tigers continue to reach in. Nothing called. Warnkin will pass it in the backcourt. Now for Michael Ryan.
Well, that's huge.
Under 3 to go. 4 straight misses for Chase Fisher, the sophomore. Poor kid right now has his head down, but trying to come up with a defensive stop. Kreitz drills it back out now to Michael Ryan, puts it on his hip as Caleros closes out on him. 5 count starts. Pass goes out to his brother Devin. Devin, good outside shooter. He's hit 1-3 here tonight, and a reach-in foul on a confused Chase Fisher as he reached in on Braden Kreitz. Kreitz, 78% from the free throw line this year, goes to the line. Double bonus, 2 shots coming up for the senior.
Yeah, Fisher somewhat incredulous about the call, but it's the right call.
And that right call will result in the 5th personal foul for Chase Fisher. He had a monster game last night in the semifinals, but he scored 7 points here tonight, but never really able to completely get going without foul trouble as he will go to the bench. And hopefully not for the last time for the St. John sophomores, what he's thinking as Valenzuela checks in for him. 2 free throws coming up for Braden Kreitz. Central Plains, a chance to stretch things out a little bit. Tosses this one up, it's good.
Out in Lakin with 1:05 left. Scott City leads Sterling 55-51. Sterling with a basketball.
Second one on the way for Kreitz, you betcha. 41-36, timeout St. John. 2:37 to go in our fourth quarter. Central Plains starting to feel it once again after it was in doubts at the beginning of the third quarter. The Oilers on top by 5, matching their halftime lead. 41-36, 2:37 to go in our fourth quarter. It has been a 10-0 run by Central Plains right now. Absolutely no answer for the St. John Tigers.
Well, the third quarter was a quarter of runs. St. John came out, I think you said, an 8 or 9-0 run. That got answered by the Tigers. They came back until St. John hits a 3 right at the buzzer to go back on top. And now St. John needs to get somebody hot offensively, or their streak of going to the state tournament is going to end.
Yeah, they have been there all 3 years for these seniors for St. John. We talked about the seniors for Central Plains and the success they've had. Same case can be made for both these clubs here tonight, especially St. John. These seniors are 95-4. They have 3 state titles. They don't know anything but winning a state championship. As you look at St. John, they went undefeated their junior and senior seasons, as they had that one loss their freshman year to, I think it was Life Prep out of Wichita. And then they have lost 3 games here this season to Central Plains. Tiger basketball coming out of the timeout. Milton, a 3-pointer, rims off. Tough shot for Milton. Trying to get back into this one now. Foul on Valenzuela on the rebound. So St. John, you kind of feel like they're pushing it a little bit, forcing those outside shots. We've seen a couple of 3-pointers, one by Kinnaman and now one by Milton, taking that really kind of tough shots. Didn't need it right away.
Yeah, you still got 2:25 to play, Cole. You don't need a 3.
Yeah, instead it's Valenzuela's 3rd personal foul, and Barton makes him pay at the free throw line as he cans the first. 11-0 run by Central Plains, 42-36. Barton starting to find his touch at the free throw line after struggling early in tonight's game. Sinks both of them. 43-36. What's left in the tank for the St. John Tigers? 2:20 to go here in the 4th quarter. Caleros coming off a weave, takes it down the free throw line, spins on Warrenkin. Tough layup, falls in for Jorge Caleros. Big shot for the junior, 43-38. Now reaching foul on Kinnaman as he was pressuring Warrenkin. And he's frustrated with the call, but he was all over Jacob Warrenkin. 2 foul shots coming up for the senior.
Well, if Central Plains can continue to shoot well from the free throw line, they'll take control of this thing.
Kinnaman, his 3rd free throw on the way for Warrenkin, good. Second one on the way for Warrenkin, rims out. Milton collects the rebound, playing with 4 fouls here tonight. 2 minutes remaining in the game. 6-point lead. Caleros, strong, dribbles into the floor here at St. John. Hands it off to Smith. Angles through, freezes the dribble, passes it back out now to Caleros. Guarded by Warrenkin, takes him to the left. Pull-up jumper, 15-footer, drains in for Jorge Caleros. Back-to-back buckets for the junior. It's a 4-point game. 44-40, 1:35 remaining here in the 4th period. Man-to-man defense for St. John as they pick up the pressure. As Quincy Smith all over Devin Ryan, forced the ball out of his hands. Kreitz gets it back into a double team, 1 dribble, in trouble, and calls a timeout. Smart decision by Braden Kreitz. He was in trouble with 2 blue jerseys all over him. It'll be a timeout taken by Central Plains. 1:26 remaining here in the 4th period. A 4-point game, 44-40. The fans in the Hunter Green here tonight saw their Lady Oilers win earlier tonight as they smoked South Central 60-28. So the Central Plains girls will have a chance at a 3-peat in 2016. And the Oiler boys trying to join them in Manhattan next week if they win here tonight. Whoever wins here tonight will play on Thursday at Bramlage Coliseum.
Boy, what a game. We expected it to be this way. 4-point ball game, been close all the way.
Central Plains, their large lead has been 7, but that quickly vanished at the beginning of the 3rd quarter. St. John, their large lead has been 5. Having a little bit of trouble getting it in. Michael Ryan collects it in the backcourt. Caleros on him. 1:22 to go, 4-point game. Pass left side goes to Warrenkin through a double team, draws a foul. As Valenzuela and Caleros coming in and converging on Warrenkin. And it'll be a foul on St. John. This one will be whistled against Caleros, his 3rd.
Well, if you're a Tiger fan, you really don't like the body language of the guys in blue. They just don't seem to have that energy that they had earlier in the half. And they just kind of seem defeated a little bit in a game that they're only down 4 with 1:18 to go.
Doors still open here for St. John as Warnkin misses the first. One more coming up for the 5'11 senior. He has 6 points so far here tonight. This one on its way. Good rotation, and it rolls in. 5-point game, Substate Championship contest in St. John. The Tigers trailing by 5 with the ball. 1:14 to go. Kinnaman with the left-handed dribble, takes it top to the key, pulls up for a long three-pointer, rips it through the bottom of the net. It's a 2-point game as St. John High School timeout taken.
Well, and that was 3 or 4 feet, maybe more, beyond the three-point line, and he nailed it.
He missed a long one a few possessions ago, and we were questioning him. He drains this one to get his team within 2, 45-43, and a full timeout taken by head coach Clint Kinnaman as his team trails this one by 2, 45-43. What a neat story this has really kind of turned into over the last 3 or 4 years. St. John, they've been loaded here in St. John over the last 4 years, especially with Dean Wade. He graduated last year. The Tigers still looking for a four-peat. Picked up one of their state championships in 1A Division I back in 2013. The last two have come in Class 2A. But they are on the wire right now here against Central Plains as they trail by 2, but a big time 3 by Cole Kinnaman pulling his team within 2.
Scott City wins it late, 59-57 over Sterling. So the Sterling boys won't be joining the Sterling girls at the state tournament this year.
Tough competition this Saturday. To expect nothing less on Championship Saturday. Full court pressure applied by St. John in their road of blue jerseys on their home court as a 2-seed against Central Plains. Kreitz to throw it in. Trapped is Ryan, hands it off to Kreitz. Nice play by Central Plains. They break the pressure. Here's Devin Ryan. Final minutes. Oilers with the ball on top by 2. The brothers playing catch around half court. Both of them with fresh haircuts coming into this championship game.
Nice you noticed that.
Yeah, Devin Ryan hands it off to his brother Michael. One dribble, and St. John just swatting all over for the ball. And now we'll get a reach-in foul against, I believe, Valenzuela. And that'll be his 4th personal foul, as it'll send Jacob Warnkin, who's been a little unsteady at the free throw line. So I think St. John has been waiting to get a little bit better choice at the free throw line. But Warnkin, he's knocked it throughout the season, but he leaves this one short. Still a big one coming up for the senior, though, and a chance to make this a full possession lead for Central Plains. 42 seconds remaining. Alex Barton into the game. Rugen's been on the bench for most of the second half. Second one falls in for Jacob Warnkin. Danced around, fell in. 3-point game. 46-43, final 40 seconds. Here's Kinnaman across half court. Rolls off the screen, stops on the wing. Back out to Milton. Contested 3, well short. Air ball rebound there for Claros. He drives in, pulls up. Jumper good. It's a 1-point contest. 25 seconds to go. Full court pressure in pursuit for St. John. Devin in trouble. Nearly stepped out of bounds, but a timeout taken by the Oilers. Comes with 22.8 to go. Claros, tough jump shot from 15 feet away, drills it to make it a 1-point game.
Hey, man, I appreciate you letting me invite myself to come join you tonight, because this has been a lot of fun.
Not a bad one to come to here in St. John. It's been kind of the who's who of Kansas here tonight, because a lot of people have made their way to St. John, Kansas on a Saturday evening for 2 really talented teams from Central Plains and St. John. South Central, I guess it's kind of a knock to them, but really shouldn't be, because talented, but just really didn't match up well on the ladies' game earlier here tonight as Central Plains rolled by 32 points. And in the guys' game, what we expected, we wanted a heated game. We're getting that here in St. John. The Tigers 0-3 against Central Plains this year. But the one that matters takes place this evening, and it's a 1-point game in the final 23 seconds.
Well, if you're St. John, you go for the steal here right away on the inbound. If you don't get it, you send them to the free throw line, because you need to extend this game as long as you can here.
Somewhat of a tough place to throw it in for Braden Kreitz in Central Plains, as he's down pretty much right on the corner. Stack formation for Central Plains, having to go the length of the court. They'll throw it in, pass deflected, stolen. St. John has it. A chance for the lead, final 20 seconds, 46-45. Kinnaman has it out near midcourt, a costly turnover. Central Plains trying to strap in defensively. 10 seconds, Kinnaman, Michael Ryan on hand, takes it to the free throw line, pull-up jumper, rims off, no good. A fight for the rebound, Central Plains has it, and a foul in the backcourt with .2 to go. Kinnaman was trying to drive all the way as Central Plains fans are on their feet.
Well, they got a good look at it. You got exactly what you wanted. You got the steal. You had the shot right at the end. Will they put some time on the clock? That's the question.
Chris Sundahl going over the scores table here in St. John. I believe it's going to be closer to 1. They put 1.2 on the clock. And it'll be free throws coming up here for Central Plains. Timeout taken by Brett Rolfs. Now, start to dissect the play for St. John coming off the steal. Cole Kinnaman after the deflection. Kinnaman had it out near midcourt with 22 seconds remaining in this game. Wanted to get the last shot. I don't blame him there. Had a chance. Kinnaman's been successful at getting into the free throw line. Maybe force one up, make him call it, get to the free throw line, but instead he pulls up a tough 15-footer. I'm not saying Kinnaman can't hit that shot, but it's a tough one with the game on the line. Yeah,
like you said, if he drives that into the lane, maybe he gets a call and a chance to go to the free throw line. You know, you're only down 1 point, so you go to the free throw line, a chance to tie or take the lead with a free throw. Instead, he elects to pull up for about a 14, 15-footer. Just missed it. There was a battle underneath on the rebound. That came out, I think it was Warnken who had his hands on it. He ends up throwing it the length of the floor as he gets fouled. He tried to throw it and let the ball trickle away. Actually, he threw it in the corner to Kreitz, who threw it down the floor. Either way, it'll be Kreitz at the free throw line with 1.2 seconds to play, and the Oilers up a point.
He's hit 5 free throws so far on the night. None bigger for the senior Braden Kreitz with 1.2 to go in a 1-point game. First one on his way, swishes through, no doubt.
Well, there's probably not much difference between him making this or missing it. You might almost want him to miss it if you're the Oilers, because that makes St. John take a little more time, but he will put it in.
Here we go, 3-point game, 1.2 to go. Central Plains leads it full court for the Tigers. Caleros to throw it in, takes a step, baseball pass to midcourt. Kinnaman has it, falls down, and is taken away. And there'll be a foul called on Michael Ryan with no time left on the clock.
It won't be free throws, though, or at least not 3 of them. St. John is down 3 points, so it's the most they can get is 2. He was not in the act of shooting.
What a play by St. John, getting it down to the 3-point line on a Caleros baseball pass. Kinnaman had a chance to spin and shoot, but instead he falls to the floor. Didn't look like a whole lot of contact, but like you mentioned, Gary, this doesn't really work out too well for St. John. You really rather have had Kinnaman try to force up a 3, as they will put 0.6 on the clock. Free throws coming up for Kinnaman, and it should be a 1-and-1.
So that's not really a bad play for Central Plains either, because the most he can make from the free throw line is 2. It's a 1-and-1, so he's got to make the first one. Then you've got to miss the second and get the tap. That's your only hope if you're St. John.
0.6 on the floor. Fireworks here in St. John on a Saturday night as the drama continues to unfold here in the Substate Championship game in Class 2A. So Kinnaman needs a make on the first. Down by 3. It's on its way. Good. 2-point game. How do you miss this one? Milton and Caleros down low on the second spot. Right off the rim, he hits it. Milton had a shot, and that'll do it. It goes off the chest of Milton and out of bounds, and the final buzzer sounds. Clint Kinnaman goes out on the floor as the referees make a beeline to the doors and get out of here, as Kinnaman has his hands on his hips, and he admits defeat here tonight as his team will be denied a chance at a 4-peat in 2016. Central Plains, they go 4-0 against St. John in 2016, and the Oilers finally get the monkey off their shoulder, knocking off the St. John Tigers when it matters as they pick up a 2-point win in the Substate Championship game. They're on to Manhattan. They will be at Bramlage Coliseum on Thursday. Your final, Central Plains 48, St. John 46. The postgame show coming up in 2 minutes on B104.3 The Point.
Only 0.5% of all high school student athletes play basketball in college, but all 100% of them become adults. That's why playing basketball in their high school team is so important. High school athletes learn life lessons that help them grow up, lessons that can't be taught in the classroom and often aren't taught at home. This message presented by the Kansas State High School Activities Association and the Kansas Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Coverage of the 2A Substate Championship games is brought to you by S&J Bank of Kansas, Tyree Ag, and BTI.
Central Plains fans have a lot to cheer about again in 2016 as both their teams will be moving on to the Class 2A state tournament next week in Manhattan as the Oilers pick up a win against St. John in a must-see game this Saturday evening. 48-46 is the final. Where do you start in this ball game? It's tied up at 12s at the end of the first quarter, tied up at 17s midway through the second quarter. Central Plains went on a 7-0 run, their largest lead of the game at 24-17 with 3 minutes to go in the first half. St. John will knock down a couple free throws, make it a 5-point contest at halftime. Then St. John Tigers, man, they had a fire lit underneath them to begin the third quarter on a 10-0 run. Took their first lead of the game since early on in the first quarter as that 10-0 run put them on top by 29-24, their largest lead of 5 points in the ball game. Central Plains, though, they would battle back at the end of the third period. It tied up at 31s before a Jorge Caleros banking three-pointer put St. John on top by 3, 34-31. St. John got a quick bucket to start out the fourth quarter, led by 5 once again at 36-31. That's when Central Plains, you talk about digging deep, they did just that. They put on their best run of the game. They go on a 12-0 run as they're on top 43-36, and they were able to hold on down the stretch to win this one by 2. But the drama did continue even in the final minutes. Central Plains led the entire way, but they were only at 46-45 after Caleros knocked down a tough 15-foot jump shot from the right elbow to pull St. John within 1, 46-45. Kreitz would eventually knock down some free throws, making it a 3-point game. And then St. John with 1.2 to go, Caleros threw it pretty much the length of the court, at least to the 3-point line. And Kinnaman, it was a nice play, almost kind of Christian Leitner-esque, but at the 3-point line for Kinnaman. Really wanted to spin and release on that 3 with 1.2 to go. They called a foul as he fell to the floor, sending him to the line for a 1-and-1. Made the first, pulled St. John within 2, intentionally missed the second one. Milton had a shot, but it was coming off hot off the rim and just bounced right off his chest and out of bounds, and that wasted the final 0.6 on the clock. And Central Plains, big sigh of relief here in St. John as they escape with a 2-point win, 48-46, moving on to the Class 2A state tournament. What a game here tonight in St. John.
Well, just as it's exactly what we expected would happen. You know, there were going to be fireworks. And Central Plains has had the upper hand all year long. It just seemed like, maybe St. John might have something in their back pocket to be able to pull out. Unfortunately for St. John, Jacob Milton gets in some foul trouble, has to sit much of the second quarter, and that's when Central Plains went on a little bit of a run, opened up that halftime lead. Third quarter, quarter of runs, St. John comes out hot. That's answered by Central Plains. And then the fourth quarter, just back and forth all the way. St. John had its opportunity. They got the steal on the inbound pass, down a point, missed the shot as Cole Kinnaman missed from about the left elbow, 14, 15-foot area, missed that shot. And then it was a free throw contest after that. They just could not get over that hump. And Central Plains, with their fourth win over St. John, goes to the state tournament.
And it's been said year after year when St. John continued to knock off Central Plains, what a shame it is that, these two teams didn't get a chance to play each other in the state tournament. They did last year, but the previous years in Substate, you can make the case again, but reverse it over to St. John. The Tigers ranked the fourth best team in the state, only 4 losses this season. The Central Plains rightfully up there as one of the top teams in Class 2A.
Exactly. And my normal broadcast partner on Larned broadcast, Bud Tabler, he's in favor of having what would be kind of some at-large bids just to cover these kind of situations, because probably there's going to be some teams in the 2A tournament that maybe are 500 teams.
Oh, yeah.
And here you have St. John, a team that has been, stellar the last few years, ranked in the top 5, as you said, and they're staying home.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate everyone listening on B104.3 The Points, and also Kiowa County Media Center covering the action, doing an excellent job here tonight. We're going to talk with Brett Rolfs coming up after the break as Central Plains goes to the state tournament with a 48-46 victory against St. John here tonight. We'll be back with Brett Rolfs in 1 minute on B104.3 The Point.
Agriculture today is such a dynamic market. Prices are moving, the input costs are fluctuating, equipment costs, all of these things add up. We're here to help those farmers for their success. That's really what an ag dealership today needs to do, is be on their best game all the time so that we can help our farmers achieve what they need. And if they want to pass that down to their children and their children's children, they've got to have a good partner behind them. That's BTI.
Evening on a championship Saturday. Central Plains boys matching the Lady Oilers. Both teams advancing to the Class 2A state tournaments in Manhattan next week. Girls start up on Wednesday. The boys will be on Thursday in the opening round. The Central Plains boys, they'll be there once again at Bramlage Coliseum as they get a 48-46 victory here tonight against St. John. Brett Rolfs, the head coach of the Central Plains Oilers, joining us here on the postgame show. How's your heartbeat right now?
I don't know. In my head.
Yeah, I agree with
feel
that.
it.
Talk about, an anticipated game coming in here. You knew everyone wanted to see this game. Central Plains, St. John, it's been great over the last 3 or 4 years. You guys get the win here tonight. What does it mean? I know you've defeated St. John 3 times on the regular season. What's it mean to win the big one that counts?
For us, these seniors have been so dedicated and put in so much work, unbelievable amount of work, and we've been on the other end of this too many times. Unfortunately, that's just the way our system works, and it was nice to be on the other side once when it really counted. A lot of talent here that a lot of people don't get to see, unfortunately, because of the system that we have right now. But I get a lot of credit to St. John, obviously, but those first 3 wins we got against them this year were big, but we really knew the whole season that it was going to come down to this. we just did. So
you guys were tied up at 17s about halfway through the second quarter. You guys go on a 7-0 run. That was your large lead at 7. Ended up taking a 5-point lead at halftime. Were you kind of wanting more points, wanting a bigger lead there at half?
Well, who wouldn't? We missed a 3 there right at the buzzer. We got a really good look. We didn't shoot the ball exceptionally well tonight. We really didn't. St. John came out really hot. They cooled off a little, and we stayed in it and then clawed back into it and got the lead there. And then start of that second half, of course, they came out on a 7-8, 9-0 run or something to that effect, and really changed the game. I mean, if we could have just held our own or even got a couple quick buckets, maybe we get a little bit more comfortable. But it's never easy playing down here, and we talk about that all the time. You got to play through the ups and downs that you're going to have them. So.
Yeah, you talk about that 10-0 run by St. John to start out the third quarter. They were on top 29-24. Did the 5-point deficit seem bigger at that time, the way this place was rocking?
It always does, especially in a lower scoring game like we were in. Buckets were hard to come by. And 5 points seems like you said, probably seems like 10, especially in the second half in a game like this. So, but we just fought through it. We didn't do anything special. We just stayed the course, trusted in ourselves, and obviously we're successful. So,
how big was Braden Kreitz down, especially in the fourth quarter? I mean, he had a couple of good and one opportunities, made some free throws to kind of finish this one off here tonight. How big was he down the stretch?
Very big. Every one of these guys is capable. If the matchup's there or mismatch, so to speak, there. He had a really huge game for us in the state finals last year against the same team. That was the mismatch. I mean, that was where we thought we could do a little damage, but he got the ball in open court a couple times there, had some space, and made the most of it. So.
Does the celebration continue tonight, or do you go right to the lab and start prepping for the state tournament on Thursday?
The celebration continues for a while on this one.
Very good.
No doubt about it.
Brett, appreciate it. Thanks for coming up.
Thank you.
That's Brett Rawls, head coach of Central Plains, as they knock off St. John here tonight, 48-46 here this evening. Moving on to the Class 2A state tournaments in Manhattan on a Thursday for the first round. Real quickly, we'll run through the individual scoring of tonight's ball game. Central Plains still undefeated at 23-0. Braden Kreitz, he had 12 points, and I mentioned he was clutch down the stretch, hitting free throws, getting through the lane, and just being a man down low, finishing up with 12 points. Devin Ryan had 3, 7 points for Jacob Warnkin, 2 for Brady Rugen, 8 points for Michael Ryan, 10 points for Alex Barton. St. John, they see their season come to an end at 18-4, all 4 losses to the Oilers for head coach Clint Kinnaman, but they made a great game here tonight on their home floor. It was Quincy Smith with the opening bucket of the ball game, did not score after that for 2 points. Cole Kinnaman, he was drilling shots down the floor, trying to will his team back in. Finished up with 17 points here tonight, 2 for Tristan Long, 8 points for Jorge Caleros, 7 points for Chase Fisher before he fouled out, and Jacob Milton finished up with 7 points here tonight. So Central Plains 23-0 on the season. They'll play in the opening round in Manhattan for the Class 2A state tournament. They lost in the title game to St. John. The Tigers won't be there. Maybe things open up for the Central Plains Oilers for a state championship in boys basketball. Lady Oilers, they'll be there as well, as they picked up an easy win Saturday night against South Central by winning that one 60-28. Big thanks to our producer back in Great Bend. It's Landon Winkler. Also, Gary Wagner doing an excellent job here tonight in St. John as well. And also big thanks to Kiowa County Media Center, as Grant Newhold and his crew doing an excellent job covering all the action here for Championship Saturday. So big thanks to them. You can always check out all their stuff at kcmcsports.com. This is Cole Rives saying good night from St. John High School. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Coverage of the 2A Substate Championship games is brought to you by S&J Bank of Kansas.
Nice job, Gary. Sounded good, man.
Tyree Ag. And BTI.